Good morning, Sinful. How are you?
Good morning.
I never want to talk because it kills the music. You can't turn the music on after you start talking, and then, it's just such pleasing elevator music that I want to just keep listening to it. So I'm like, okay, am I ready to let that music go? And I see a lot of friendly faces, or hopefully friendly faces. Cat 5K, Existence, Fancy, Joel, Dixon, Hankos, and DCL Romania. Good morning and welcome. And Dixon, I couldn't tag you for some reason this morning. Now, because I was like, oh, he's got a different name, but now I see no. I don't know. I don't know why you didn't show up. I don't know if I'm being shadow banned or what. But sorry, I missed you on that tag. And good morning. It looks like Jim. Good morning, Rustan, Zesty. Welcome. And if you're in the build, I've got lots. There's nothing to ride. Well, there's no bulls to ride here. You'll have to come back. We've been having fun this week. Test our mechanical bulls in this build, so I had to lock it up, make sure nobody could get in. So the bulls are gone, but they'll be back later today for those brave souls. And it's quiet, so I'm just gonna keep talking to myself. Hope you guys all have coffee if it's morning. I've got coffee with creamer in it. Cindy, you have coffee today?
No, that's why I'm so quiet.
Oh, yeah, you need coffee. I don't know. Have you had coffee yet, or are you just getting to coffee?
I haven't had anything
I
yet.
don't know how you can make it to noon without coffee.
That is simple. That is simple. You wake up 15 minutes before
Okay,
noon.
that makes sense. That makes much more. I wish, I don't know if they make them, but I want a coffee maker that has a Wi-Fi setting that you as soon as you wake up and you scroll. Actually, could I correlate it to Twitter? So as soon as you check Twitter, it starts your coffee. So by the time you already have all the Twitter, really important Twitter news, your coffee is already ready. So that you could, oh yeah, it could be correlated. The more time you spend online, the more coffee that it creates for you. I don't know about that.
I'd be happy to do that with my bowl by the time my bowl's done being packed. My coffee's done too.
Yeah, when Bluetooth enabled bowl.
I wonder if Alexa can be integrated into your coffee maker.
I bet. I think technology's come a long ways. Yeah.
Yeah, at first you'd probably have to do it in secret. I'm sure Mr. Bezos would sue the shit out of you if you were to compromise their technology. But But after you succeed and show them the product, they'll threaten to sue you, but then eventually just take it from you because they'll be like, "Well, we threatened, it worked."
Sometimes I think we do. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think you need a good lawsuit, for better or worse, it makes shit happen. I don't know.
To that statement, I can think of one area in our in our ecosystem that probably could use one, mainly because of the cartel.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you get change. It's like I don't know. Maybe I'm just salty. Yeah, I'm just salty from my day job. Like, but I'm like, paying somebody like $15 an hour is so much cheaper than a lawsuit. So maybe we need a lawsuit so that everybody makes their happy $15 an hour and they can support their family and feed their children and life is good.
Wait, you can support a family on $15? Where do you
Didn't you know
live?
that? Yes. Pay a mortgage, buy school clothes, put food on the table. Yeah, no, not happening.
Well, yeah. Good morning, everyone. I see Bay is here. Hello, Bay. What up, Mies? Fancy. Thank you for the heads up, Fancy, on those shoes. Those are items that I just pounce at once I see them cheap. What's up, Maza? Dixon, Balin, Lord. Good to see you all. Oh, Rustan is here as well. I know he's been in World for a little bit. And welcome. If anyone would like to come up and speak about anything you'd like to bring up, you're more than welcome to request. And I guess to start, we'll pass it over to Mr. One Existence. He has come up to speak. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. Good morning. I just thought I'd help get the ball rolling and bring up a couple things that are coming up. And I'm glad Bay is in the room because the first one was just a reminder. I think they extended possibly the sign up for musicians and builders who want to participate in the Metaverse Music Festival this year.
That's crazy.
So
Did not know that.
I think I want to say October 6th, but she can confirm that for me. There we go. Thank you. October 6th. I'll see if I can't scrounge up the form and pin it up to the top. If anybody's interested, I believe it's 5 builders they will select, but don't be discouraged by that. Still apply and still create something for the event. Um, and then I'm curious if anybody knows anything about this AI event that's coming up at the end of October too.
Now, is it an AI event or is it? Well, it's like it's the next theme. The theme for October is AI, I believe.
Yes. That's correct.
So, is there a specific event to it? I haven't seen that, but I might just be out of the loop.
I think we're supposed to do stuff, aren't we?
Oh shit! Was there a memo that I didn't get?
Well, um, I mean that's kind of what I thought the foundation was doing was kind of pushing it towards the community to make these things happen now. Kind of
Yeah,
my understanding.
I think you're right, and I think like big events take months to create. I mean, our CBD 1 year anniversary, I think we did that in like 2 weeks. So it is possible to like scrounge and hustle and make it happen. But I think that probably as time goes on, I could see a lot more streamlined events for the like themes later, like next year. Like I know January is wellness, and so I personally like am thinking, okay, what could we do? I've got some friends that we've talked to about different things that we could bring to the table to like focus on that. So I think that as time goes on, people have had a chance to like organize and kind of strategize what they're going to create for that. So these first few months, it makes sense that people haven't really had a chance to come together. But Bay is here. Welcome. We will hear right from you. How are you this morning?
I'm really well. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Sorry, I've got like a tribe with me. So I'll just pop in to say, yeah, 2nd of October is the new deadline. we're still having issues with the Zealous platform. That's kind of, yeah, it's been really sticky for us the last couple of days. So I have just put a temporary form on the creator Zealous, and I'm going to add one now to the performer Zealous, which means that even if Zealous is still down this weekend, you can still put your submission in. And yeah, new deadline on Monday if that works for everyone. But just give me a call if you've got any problems with that deadline, because I appreciate that Zealous has caused some problems from some teams that have kind of half done their applications, and then Zealous has decided it's not playing anymore.
Okay, that's good to know. And it's always unfortunate when it's just like a problem like that, you know, if we've got people that want to do stuff and kind of just trying to make those connections. So just to kind of like back up, this is for Metaverse Music Festival. If you are a talented builder or if you have a team and also musicians, if I'm correct, you have the chance to create something. And this is just like getting, I guess, getting the approval first. Is that correct in saying like you have to submit the proposal, you have to get approved by Foundation before you actually like go to the next step? Is that right?
So there's two proposals. So there's the application for creators. So there's a 1,000 USD award for 5 creators to build in Metaverse Music Week Plaza. And then there's also the performer application process. So there's 5 slots for $500 bursaries for performers as well. So that's kind of the Zealous submission program, which should have been working this weekend, but it's super duper glitchy. So forms are there for everyone that wants to apply for those awards and space in the plaza to both build and perform. And then in addition to that, I'm supporting any community organization or party venue or individual that wants to create something during the wider music month, which is the whole of November. So if anyone wants to do something and would like support from Foundation, then just get in touch and we can talk about how that works for the community in general.
That is awesome. So good to hear. I really hope that like a really cool, big, cohesive music month comes together. Like in my mind, I'm hoping it's a bunch of different genres of music, not just, you know, not just one, but like that everybody can find their niche here, because music like speaks to the soul. So awesome. Very cool. If anybody has any questions for Bay, please feel free to put them in the chat. And I see Cat 5. Welcome. Good morning. How are you? Or good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you're at.
Yo, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me up. Awesome space. So Bay, where can I find the application for performers?
Hey, yeah, if you go to Decentraland's Twitter, the pinned tweet has got both application forms on it. Again,
Okay.
sincere apologies. I'm just about to rewrite the temporary form for performers. We've just published the creator one. So if you give me 20 minutes, I'll get the temporary form up there so you can use it while Zealous is monkeying around right now. So you'll see if you go to the Zealous page, it actually says that submissions have paused. It's a glitch in Zealous. It's not true. So please just use the form I'm going to create now as kind of the temporary way that we can get these submissions in this weekend. But yeah,
Nice.
quick answer. Nice. Yeah, if you go to Decentraland Twitter, you can see the pinned tweet has got all the information for you.
All right, definitely. I will definitely be applying and submitting some work. I would love to get involved with the music festival. We need some OGs in there.
Yeah, absolutely, and I love to see you involved.
So then, Bay, can I ask a question? Just kind of like from a noob, or just kind of like somebody really not in the the loop, but like if a musician comes along, let's say Cat 5, and they want to play, then do they find like the right venue to fit that style, I could imagine? Or is it going to be like last year there were multiple stages? Do you know enough ahead of time like that's how it's going to be? Because I could kind of see like matching the musician with the vibe that they're
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. So we've got 5 community partners that are taking over each stage. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with those partners to match the selected musicians with the right lineup. So there are going to be 5 different stages with different vibes, and then we're going to be having real discussions about where everyone's going to be best fitting within the different zones. it should be really exciting. It's the first time Foundation has outsourced so much of it into the community. I know, like, if anyone wants to be involved this year, just let me know and we can work it into the festival in some way. You can imagine that budgets are really tight, but we trying to support in any way that we can to really make this to be a really cool and exciting event with that diversity of both creators and musicians and performers.
That's awesome. I mean, it's hard as it is to see it kind of transition away from Foundation, just because that's what we're used to. It's really nice to see that, because I think, for long-term sustainability, we are, for better or worse, going to have to kind of learn how to slowly take over these things. I think, I don't know. I could be a little wrong on that. Cat 5.
I have a question. So I'm curious. Who is putting on the Metaverse Music Festival this year?
That's a really good question. So it's a combination between Foundation, who is building Tuno experiences within Plaza. They've brought me on. So they saw how Mesh worked. I don't know if you came to Mesh, which was earlier this year, which was an art fair that I produced as an independent producer. They really liked how we brought in a lot of independent artists, a lot of creators into Decentraland, and also worked with community builders. So they asked me if we could try and replicate that again for music festival, with the understanding that this year, with the budgets that we have, we're going to have to be really savvy about how that works. So it's kind of like a huge experiment for us in the community to see what happens when we can do this collaboration space. It's going to be a massive experiment to see how we can get as many people as involved as possible and make it worthwhile for everybody. And it's this exciting festival that brings people together and provides a great space for both new performers and musicians and the OGs from the community, and for people that are new to Decentraland. I was at Future Music Forum this week in Barcelona talking about what we're doing. And it was really interesting hearing the conversations that Decentraland is still the go-to space that people talk about when they talk about performance opportunities in the metaverse. That was super duper exciting. So it's about just providing that showcase again to show what is possible. And I know that most of the innovation right now is coming out of community. That's what we saw with Mesh. So it's about how can I, as the producer that's helping in this, really support the community to enjoy and do something special with November itself.
Thank you, Bay. Oh,
So it's the foundation. The DCL Foundation is working with Mesh, and is there any DAO involvement in the funding of the Metaverse Music Festival, or is this just coming from the foundation?
This is coming from Foundation, but there is nothing to stop any community organization, obviously, from running for DAO funding if that's something that's going to help them out to participate in the festival.
Bay, do you know, is Foundation, so I guess I maybe to back up, I'll just, like, in the past, last year, Foundation ran it. We had, Bjork headlining it. We had lots of different musicians, Ozzy, I'm not sure who exactly was there in what capacity, so I won't say Ozzy was there, but like Ozzy's name was there. So that's a big deal, big names. The changes this year, just to be fully transparent, the changes came along before they were really announced to the community, which I think it gave the community kind of a feeling that, like, I don't know, it just wasn't the right delivery method.
Yes.
And I think, yeah, like, I mean, I feel like things should be, well, transparent. We like transparency. Now it feels like the foundation's doing a little bit more to, like, wrangle and kind of coordinate. So I don't know, is there, like, more that we can expect from foundation? Like, are they bringing in, like, other outside artists? Are we going to see, I mean, I'm guessing we're not going to see somebody like Bjork or Ozzy, but it just to kind of compare it to the past, like, is the foundation offering anything like that this year?
I think the short answer is no. It's a really different festival from what it was last year and the kind of legacy expectations around this festival. I was brought in like a couple of weeks ago to see how we can run the open calls, to see how we can really engage everybody in this call and everybody going forward as to how to make this festival a success. It is going to be super different. I think it's still going to be this exciting space, particularly for community itself. And I think that has been the real focus of the conversations I've had with Foundation so far, of it's absolutely putting both technical delivery center stage, making it all work, and also making it work with our community and showcasing what creativity and what like innovation that exists within Decentraland as a platform, rather than bringing in external entities and relying on that to sell Decentraland as a space for those external entities. It's about showing what we can do as Decentraland itself, what we can produce, and how that can really showcase and push all of us as creators going forward. But it is going to be super duper different, and I really really excited, but also really requesting that anyone has ideas, would like to get involved, would like to contribute something, would like to talk about making something work at the festival, then I am completely open with DMs on the Discord and also in Twitter. Just get in touch and we'll talk about doing something really, really cool for November. Does that answer your question, Canessa? I know it might be a little bit fudgy.
No, that's good. I just, sometimes I like process, and I know, Cat 5, you had some really good questions, too, about the DAO, because I think, like, anytime you do something, like whatever it is, I mean, it takes money to, drive down the street. So when you're making a big festival, it takes money to do that. And so I think that was, for some of us, that was the big deal, is that, you have this budget, which in the past came out of foundation coffers, and now that's being, like, if people want to get funding through the DAO, that is available. However, like, the time frame to turn around and get that funding, it's also, a one-time event that is competing in the same category as, what artists that are here year round, so it's just trying to figure out, like, okay, how do the builders get the budget to actually create something and get fair wages for their work, because I think that artists are the most underpaid, artists and musicians, underpaid, people in society. So I think, like, getting the fair wage is important. And so, yeah, hopefully hopefully, I don't know. It's a funny way to do it. So hopefully we'll get these, road bumps or speed bumps ironed out for future months. I mean, I could see the music festival being much more like a performance. Like, I don't know how many grants are going to come in for Wellness Month in January. I hope we just knock that one out of the park with everybody trying to, like, be healthier. But I do think that, yeah, we found some interesting hurdles. Cat 5, did you want to add to that? And then Existence or Bay?
Hey, yeah, just to kind of emphasize that, I completely agree that we are working with a budget this year that means that we've got to be really careful about paying people for their work, being involved in those decisions with studios to decide, is this something I want to be involved in? Because, yeah, the budgets have been really, really reduced across all the events. And it's about being really honest about what's available. I think Foundation's made an interesting step to work with partner organizations for the stages, and there's been budget for those stages. And then on top of that, saying, okay, we're going to create an open call as well and allow creators to access. It is a very relatively small budget for a lot of the builds that have been happening in Decentraland, but there is something there for creators that they can access. And then it's looking at the wider sense of what can we do to really support studios and creators in a sense that fits with their goals about why they're working with Decentraland right now. Why are they excited about building the platform? What can we do that makes it a really cool showcase of what's possible? But I as a studio and creator myself, I know all of this needs to be balanced with commercial questions, especially right now in this market. So yeah, like, I've had some really interesting conversations with people from studios trying to define, like, what this way up between being excited about participating and also the monetary kind of aspects of that. But yes, very much that we have to have these conversations, and this needs to be a test case for how this can be sustainable for the months ahead. Completely agree with you, Canessa.
Can I just throw in an artist joke that artists will understand?
Yeah, go
Let's do
ahead.
it for the exposure. I don't. Yeah.
I know.
If anybody's an artist, you'll know.
Yeah, okay.
I know. I've been
I've
putting
heard
this in the,
that
what do
too
you call
much,
it?
I
Canessa.
know.
I've heard that.
For anybody that's not aware, artists always get these wonderful offers
man.
that it'll be great for your exposure. But I have yet to eat my exposure. I'm like, I can't eat.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's a decision for everybody. Like it's such a decision for all artists. Like, you know, I've been working as a professional artist producer for the last 3 years, and it's just like it's always that way up of what's exciting and what's the meaty stuff that's gonna pay the bills for next month. I completely agree. Like,
I,
and that's a conversation that needs to go on and be a decision for everyone. And there's no what do you call it? Like, I don't know. There's no obligation for anybody, and it's a very personal choice. But I'm hoping that we can put something cool together and be a platform for creators, and also pay through the bursaries and the awards that are available. If that makes sense.
It does make sense, and I thank you for talking about this and being transparent, Bay. And I know Alan has his hand up, but I just wanted to just kind of close off my thoughts because it is. I'm like this. The event is coming soon, and it's an exciting opportunity for creators to get a possible payment to be a part of this. But I just I think a lot of us here, like we want to make sure the values of transparency and decentralization are being upheld, and so we kind of hear about this stuff, and naturally we want to talk about it and have a conversation and ask questions. So I appreciate you being up here and answering these questions and stuff. So but that's all I have to say. And in the effort of gaining some exposure, I'm gonna put the DJ mix I recorded yesterday on X here up on the jumbotron. Everybody, go enjoy some music.
Thank you, Cat5. And this has been an awesome conversation. I'm just going to pop in here real quick. The second pinned tweet at the top, the one in the middle, referring to the Pink Punk Pants grant. Definitely nominate your favorite wearable creator. We will be rolling for the winners here later on in this Twitter space. So, yeah, just thought I'd pop in and kind of mention that. And yeah, take it away, One Existence. Oh, unless you aren't finished, Cat5.
No, I'm all good. I'm excited to hear from Alan. This has been a really good conversation, guys. I'm excited to try and submit and get into this.
And I'm keeping it on the same topic actually because I'm kind of interested, curious, excited, and think it's a good idea the way they're doing this. Um, we're not going to have hundreds and hundreds of people coming in just for a day or two like we have in the past. Um, but it's going to give a lot more of the community of not just Decentraland, but if we spread the word out there on Twitter Spaces and other social media, um, bring in possibly people that haven't performed in Decentraland, like I'm thinking Expo Heedy, if anybody's ever heard of him. I know Felons is in Decentraland. I don't know if they've ever performed there. I would love to see Quan put something on if he's able to. But what I'd really also like to see is the ingenuity of like Mr. Big Mouth and Future Music incorporating different aspects of Web3, in particular AI, into their set, into their performance. You know, a video to go along with it, whether it has a beast or a Niling attached to it, um, something like that is the kind of things I hope to see. But I do kind of have a question here. So I mean, obviously the festival is not going to be limited to these 5 people. Are they gonna? But are the 5 people, the 5 performers, are they going to be considered headliners as such? I guess is what I'm getting at.
Hey, yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know yet. So I'm going to look at the proposals. The foundation team are going to be looking at selection from all the proposals that are in for those awards. We'll also have these 5 stage partners that will be doing the programming of those stages. That's going to be, again, a really interesting process. And all 5 stages are community linked. So I think they'll be working with community members on that programming, and they do have budgets as well. So it's not Foundation deciding on all of the programming. Foundation will be involved in selecting the 5 that receive these independent awards from Foundation itself. And then each of the 5 main stages within Plaza are also going to be doing their programming. And there is some budget around that as well, that each of the 5 stages are overseeing. So it's kind of a little bit more decentralized than Foundation just deciding across the board. I have joined after the stage partners were selected. I remember I talked to Canessa a little bit during the later stages of this. I agree that for next month we need to have much more notice for the community to be able to get involved in those early stage discussions as well. But like it's be really awesome to kind of bear with this process and see how it goes. And I will be giving loads of opportunities for people to feedback on this. So we're already talking about a mid-festival and a post-festival feedback so that we can collect how this worked for people, what didn't work, and how that can be then taken as lessons for the next months across this program, where this is this really different model and kind of testing it out and how it works. So yeah, just please keep talking and please just let me know what's working, what's not.
So if you're not one of the 5, do they need to? Do people need to get in contact with the 5 stages in order to be a part of it in some way? Or
Yes. So I've got my initial meetings with each of the stage partners in the next, so Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week. And then we can hopefully announce who those stage partners are once they're really comfortable with the process as well. And then it will be about the community being able to work with those partners and be part of the programming if they wish to be so. But again, that will be the decision of each stage partners, because as Canessa said, they'll be looking at creating the vibes that they want with their stages, creating the vibes that they want with their programming as well. But it doesn't stop anyone in the wider music month to be part of creating something and being promoted by Foundation, which is a kind of another cool thing that could happen. I know I've been approached by a couple of event venues that aren't stage partners, but still want to create something for Music Month, which actually means that Foundation can focus on them exclusively during some program days. So for example, if one club wants to create a 2-day event during Music Month, that can be really promoted both to the mailing lists and also to the Twitter as kind of a specific promoted event for Music Month itself.
so if Rustan wanted to do a kind of a build and have, we'll say, Fancy and Greensford debut as a music duo, and Brandon puts together a video or something, they can they can do it, and if the foundation likes the idea or whatever, they would help promote it.
Yes, absolutely. So, and it's not if Foundation would like to promote the idea, it's if it's a community group that's creating something within Music Month and they would like help in promotion, as long as it doesn't clash with any of the other events that are being created or clashes in a kind of way that we can deal with within the marketing, then if we can schedule it to promote it, then absolutely we can put that promotion together and put it across the social networks of Decentraland. So it's a kind of a cool way of the foundation supporting community members and venues during that whole month of November, which again is this kind of trial thing around a month. How does it work? What can Foundation do to create this cohesive event that goes over more than 3 days, that allows people to be more part of it, but works within the limitations that we have right now in the platform, particularly kind of after the last few months. Yeah, I hope this is making sense. It's been really early days right now. in terms of coming on and kind of tackling this and seeing how it can work in practice. But yeah, like I'm really positive about this working. It's just we need to kind of find a way of all of us together making it work for everyone, and not leaving people out, and not having this sense of closedness or lack of communication, which I think has come previously, but really trying to make it as open as and inclusive as possible.
I'm glad you said that. So yes, so anybody who's interested in having any part of it has an opportunity. That's awesome.
Yes, and we manage the calendar. So we manage the calendar so we don't have clashes, that we can properly showcase each event. I need to confirm whether the kind of fringe events, if we're going to call them that, or whether we're going to call them Music Month events, feature on the main webpage. I would really like that to happen as well, but it depends on how that works on Foundation side. But that is the ideal, that there will be at least a Music Month page on the events. There's going to be a Music Month hashtag. There's going to be a Music Month hashtag on the marketplace as well, and really sense that this is not just 2 days of a festival or 3 days of a festival. So that the festival itself will be 16th, 17th, and 18th of November. Sorry, November, and then we'll have the wider festival around that for the whole month.
I've forgive me if this has been answered or discussed, but do we know the like 5 communities that are doing these stages and curating stages?
So I have 5 communities that I'm talking to this week that were selected before I joined this project. I don't know how those were selected, to be very honest, but they are community organizations. I've got my first calls with them this week to talk about what their vibe will be, what they want from their participation in the festival. I'll be talking about the tech specs and what they are going to be putting together. That means that as soon as that's confirmed with them, and both the partners and also foundation team are happy that we can announce, then I will be sharing those as soon as possible. And I think I'll be going through the main Decentraland Twitter space and also the Discord, but also hopefully the website will be up as soon as possible as well.
Thank you, Bay. I think, just speaking for the community, I think, existential or existence, one exists. Alan brought up a really good point a long time ago in a different, actually, I think it was Mesh Fair. It was like, how did these people get selected? And I think that, I'm not asking for that right now, but like, I think that is something that people do like to know. When things happen behind closed doors, or people have the upper foot, or like they have the alpha, then it's like, oh, it just kind of makes you feel like,
yeah,
we're going back to the old world. We're going back to the old way of doing. So,
I completely agree. I completely agree. With Mesh, we had a board of curators, which made it kind of more egalitarian, because it wasn't me choosing. It was, okay, there's these 12 curators, people that were quite respected in the art industry. So I know that even if artists didn't get chosen, they still would get their work reviewed by these galleries, by the collectors. And I could say, okay, great, this is the board that's going to choose, and this is going to be their decision about what happens. So that's how Mesh happened. With this, I think because it has been such an experiment, Foundation is trying to bridge that gap between a foundation controlled and delivered festival and something that has much greater community involvement. I think they're going to be, I am going to be making mistakes. I'm going to be doing things wrong. And it's really important for us to keep having these conversations and optimizing and iterating, as we kind of, as Canessa and Sinful and all of you guys really want to create this sense that it's open and these events happen in a way where everyone can get involved from the beginning with enough time. And yeah, that's really what I would love to be pushing for as well.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm not, I want to like reiterate, I'm not complaining. I'm not like, in my mind, as long as our comments are like constructive, not destructive, like I think it's important I think there's people maybe in the audience that aren't on the speaker, up here where our words are being heard, that might be thinking these things like, okay, everything else is like decentralized. We have a DAO. We get to make a lot of these decisions. And so yeah, it's a cool experiment. I mean, it's awesome. I don't remember what the theme for December is. Does anybody remember what the next one is? Because I know January is wellness, February I believe is fashion because it's
Mhm. I
and
think
then
it's holidays. I think
oh,
holidays in
holidays.
December.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would make sense, wouldn't it? Um, yeah, so like if we can wrinkle a lot of these things out now, then I don't know. Hopefully that'll help us really like not just see these themes as like cool. There was a theme this month, but nobody really did anything. Like it would be
Mhm.
more comprehensive if people were a part of it. But I think these are the, somewhat difficult conversations and topics that we have to bring up that if we are going to, take this power away from or if we as the community are taking this off of the foundation's hands, then like we got to have a framework of how it's done. Otherwise, there's going to be feelings hurt. When feelings get hurt, people get mad. When they get mad, they leave the platform. So I think a lot of this just ahead of time knowing it, and being transparent could prevent people from, you know, it's hard to see friends have these altercations and then like leave the platform or just transparency. I think goes a
I
long
think
way
I
in the
I
community.
think the
So
key word Bay has used a few times is transition. So it is a trend. I not that it's going to make those that might have wanted to be one of these five happy, but it could be that the foundation just has complete control like they used to, whereas they are relinquishing some of that. And again, it's transitionary.
it is. And then as much as it might be difficult for them, it's difficult for us to start seeing ourselves as like people in control or like I think web 2 is very much like consumer, like I've learned how to be a really good consumer. I sit back, I wait for the festival to come, I go, I spend money on wearables, I see the musicians, and then I go on to the next. And I think we have to be retrained to be like, oh, I could actually make a venue with the skills that I have now, and I could get musician friends, and I could do all this. So I think it's a transition, for us too, to like step up and be leaders, even if it's just in a small way. Like, hey, I'm gonna never made a wearable, but I'm gonna make a wearable for this, festival. I think like we have to be retrained
But
as well.
I that makes me think of how I hear people talk about the Tao and the Tao this, the Tao that, like they're a very small select group of people. Just one thing I'd like to point out is that anybody and everybody that is in Decentraland is technically a part of that DAO, whether you participate or not. But that's just my thought on that one. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, and like having kind of transitioned a little bit backwards lately into web 2 and like whatever the real world is, and like trying to have a conversation with normies that don't know anything about web 3 and talking about like decentralization, and the next thing I know they're talking about like the satellite antenna in their yard that they're going to have people like share the bandwidth, and I'm like, okay, Kineси, we're not ready for this conversation. So uh, it just reminds me like where we're at, how far we are. And oh, go ahead, Bay, and then Brandon. I see.
Yeah. It's just to say, like, I am always astonished about how far ahead we are. Like, I've been to 2 events this year with supposedly people that are like in the metaverse, like having these success, what do you call them? Like VC funded platforms. And then we start talking, and I realize how far ahead this community is in asking these questions, in working out how this all actually works. It's been really eye-opening, and I feel every time that I have these conversations with you guys and in the DAO Discord, I'm such a privileged position witnessing this and witnessing these conversations. So yeah, thank you for this community, and I am so inspired by it and really think that everybody here is building something very extraordinary and beautiful. And it's about how we continue that over the next few months and within this market, and how we can still make really exciting things together. Yeah, if that doesn't sound too soppy.
No, that sounds perfect, and I think yeah, like you hit it spot on, and it is so crazy to be here in this point of time. I don't know, like a year ago I couldn't even make a box in Blender. You know, I was like trying to get that left button to move and like click on it and scroll, and I couldn't do that. And then like, I don't know, today there's a mechanical bull that y'all should be riding later. So like just even that personal growth that each and every one of us, I mean, some of us are coming into Web3 from like, there's some of you, I should say, are coming into Web3 from like a technical coding background, but some of us are not. Like we're coming in with like finger painting, and now we're like trying to transition all of our talents to this crazy new world. So it's cool. I love watching the personal growth of everybody here. Oh, go ahead,
Again, it's funny you bring that up because I just excited. I made a birdhouse, so that's where I'm at currently now, and actually 13 helped me kind of start making a fountain too. Was pretty cool. So
when do we get to see the birdhouse?
well, I had it. I had it up on old guy has loaned me a parcel. I had it actually up there for a little while. I'll see what I can do right now. Right now, I've asked people, numerous people, what's the best way to make a parkour, and I'll give you the last answer I got was, well, you put it together and you test it, and then you fix it, and then you put it together and test it. I found a much easier way to do it though. So I kind of have a parkour that may need some tweaks here and there, but I have a parkour on a little 1x1 out there in Decentraland right now. So I'll see if I can't squeeze it in there.
That's so awesome. If you need some testers, I am really bad at parkour, and so I give up in about 30 seconds.
Well, to quote Fancy, either I am or that place is pure evil. There's a lot to it, and I hate
yeah,
parkour myself. So
yeah, I always have a cheater way to get where if it's my build, I always have a cheater way to get up where I need to go. And Brandon, I see you came up to join us. I feel like it's been forever. Maybe it hasn't been that long, but how the heck are you?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenidos. Yo soy Brandon. Hi. It's been a while. I'm poor and I have to work. It's lit. But miss you guys. I've been fucking just working my ass off doing shit, and it's cool because y'all are also doing a lot of cool shit, and I feel like that's what we strive on doing. And I want to come back and remind you guys to keep doing that. I love seeing all the stuff you guys put out, all the trials and church, whatever the bad things that happened. We work through them, and it's cool because we even get to have the highlights of Bay. Like she wants to come in here and work with us and see what y'all do and get it seen by some other Web3 nerds that are out there doing the shit. I did want to come up and kind of, I don't want to separate us from the DAO, but the mental separation of we need to do shit for us and not the entire platform, because we are important ants, but we are little ants, and we need to make sure our little colonies are good before we make sure the whole forest is good, you know? So if we have fun, we make sure that we're doing all the shit we need to do to make sure that like we can log on and not be sad. That's lit. And I think we're doing really fucking good at that. So y'all are killing it. The work that everyone does, DAO and non-DAO, is fucking sick. We've seen a lot of cool shit happen the past few months. So it's just been cool seeing this year happen. It's been a weird year with everything. So y'all are killing it, and I love you.
Brandon, we love you too, man. It is so good to hear your voice. You're not the only one that's had to go back and get a job to pay the bills. So even though I know maybe you feel like you're the only one, you're not. Man, 5 days a week. That's a long week. I gotta tell you, it's Fridays they haven't felt this good in a long time. But I think you say some excellent things about the DAO, and like, I love the DAO, but at the end of the day, like the DAO didn't exist when I came here. Like I came here for the archaic little builder tools. So in my mind, like long after the DAO is gone, I'll still be in the archaic little builder tool unless they take it away from me, and then I'll be really sad, like it to have to like learn some new way, or maybe even the SDK. But I think like find that thing that you love here, and don't let the politics drag you down, because I see too many people do exactly what you said, like get caught up in it, get caught up in the drama. There's heated exchanges, and then sadly a lot of people are driven away by that, and it's I don't know, it to me, you got to know your why, and my why in the DAO is like yeah.
I'm sorry, that a little bit confused me. When the DAO is gone, see, I don't understand that. I see that.
It isn't permanent.
Why
Well, I
is it
mean,
not
like,
permanent? What decisions have to be made throughout the extent of Decentraland's existence as well? And the DAO is the Decentraland community, and so if the DAO's gone, then to me that seems to me like Decentraland's gone. I mean, I
no, I mean,
there. So
no,
I'm just looking for clarity on what people are thinking, because I've never, to me, the DAO is eternal along with Decentraland.
The DAO is a government, and governments need to topple.
Yeah,
the
and
DAO can run out of
DAO
money.
didn't exist. I mean, in the the I don't know. Like I bought my land long before the DAO was in existence, so I never thought that there would be this place where funds would be accessible. Like, and so I
Well,
think,
then what about POIs?
yeah,
When people want a POI, that would be
well,
the
there were not
DAO.
POIs back
That would
then.
be the DAO.
There weren't POIs.
Technically, the DAO in some form existed when you joined, because there were like votes as soon as mana was like given out. They voted to like get rid of the 7% inflation and like other, and like how much mana. It's like technically there was some iteration of the DAO on Argon.
Well,
it
that was
just not its current iteration.
The Aragon, yeah. I mean, I remember voting on like land size, but I don't know. Like, I guess to me, like that is not what brought me here, and so it's not going to be what makes me leave ever. It's not like, if they take my builder tool away, then maybe I'll be like sadness. But I think that the DAO, you can't. I don't know. I don't see it as permanent, as that permanent existence. Like, and I think building, like, I just don't ever want to like hinge my experience here on something that is tied up with so much money, and I don't know, all of the hassles of it, like the conflicts.
When we have future music festivals, how is that going to be decided? It's going to be voted on. It's going to be voted on by the DAO, by the community. I can't foresee it ever going away. See, that's.
But I mean, this music festival right now has no involvement from the DAO, and who knows if they'll ever have involvement again. I agree. I mean, I think the DAO and having access to funds is very important, but like Canessa has said, Decentraland is a platform for creators that can exist totally outside of the DAO. I can buy a piece of land and get funding from myself, or I could even go to another DAO on the blockchain and ask for funding from another creator DAO. So I think I agree, Alan, that obviously the DAO has an incredible amount of influences and is important in Decentraland, but there is, like Canessa said, so much political discussion, so much, and it gets very personal, and that if you want, it is easy to exist in Decentraland outside of the DAO and kind of not involve yourself with that. It's sad, in my personal opinion, it's sad how it's gotten very political and personal, but I am going to keep, having DJ sets at my club, DJing for people at their places, and I've existed in Decentraland without the DAO for over 2 years now. I would love to see positive changes in the DAO, but it's not something I'm holding my breath for.
So do you guys associate the DAO with funds?
See, I feel like it's important to separate the DAO and the grants program, because like the grants program takes up the majority of the like press time and like, you know, breathing room, but like the DAO is like responsible for like maintaining a lot of the technology and framework that like all the stuff you do is like built on. So like the DAO has to exist. The grants program and the funding arguments do not in any way need to exist. So yeah, your point is totally correct, Cat 5, but I think it's like there's the subtle nuance of just like, yeah, like we can all live without the grants. People, the argument that like who will still be here building and throwing parties without grants, are like the same people that were here doing it before them, for sure. But there is elements of the DAO that are lost in that muddy water that are vital to some extent. As I understand how the technology works, I could totally be misinformed as always.
I have to go to work. I'm trying to smoke before I go to work. I love every single fucking one of you. And the reason this started is because we have creations and we have artists and we have amazing people that have amazing communities that like to create. And we have nerds like me that like to see those shits. So I love every
your
single one
shit.
of you. Y'all's creations are amazing, and I will see you around. I gotta go to work.
And everyone,
Bye.
your emotes can now have audio. You should hire Brandon to do sweet voices in your emotes, because like, wouldn't you just want to hear that sexy, sultry, bassy
And
voice just going like, la la la, love
if you
yourself, as like hearts
if you
erupt?
want a video to go with your DJ set, there's Brandon.
Hey, I asked to hear your resume. I was hoping to. Oh, he dropped down. No, I wanted to hear his like resume of like. He said he can make a lot of like sounds. I wanted to hear like animal noises. Like, let's hear it, Brandon. Let's hear. I mean, can you guys imagine that? Just imagine. Oh.
I can't imagine Brandon doing many animal sounds, because I mean, like I can see the bassy ones, like some cows and like oxen family, but like not really any birds.
We should. That's what we do, is have like a anonymous sound submission with like Decentraland. Send us your best animal sound. We won't say who says what, but like some, you know, I do like a really good turkey and raven and goat impersonation. And no, I'm not gonna do them, but someday maybe you'll be lucky enough to hear hear my talent. But yeah, no. That's an American Crow. No. I digress.
I thought it was a terrible impersonation of a bird at all. The fact that you have assigned it a type of bird indicates that I am not in a position to be judging anyone's bird calls.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started on the bird calls. One time a long time ago at Ruston's party, like somebody made a new bird wearable and I put that on and I was like doing my best impersonations, like in text, not loud, like not out loud, but like replicating the bird call in text in the chat at the party. And I realized like, oh, this is where I should just like this is where I should just not be social. Oh yeah, okay. Psychotic, you've got your hand up. You're gonna save me from myself. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Canessa. How are you? Sinful. Existence. I don't think we've spoken too often, but yeah. So yeah, I was gonna say like regards to the builder tool that you're talking about, like them potentially like say taking it away and something like that. Like the builder tool, to be honest, is something that actually probably needs to be enhanced and built upon and expanded, because when you have people, when you're onboarding, that's kind of like a part of the onboarding process. So that the more you add to the tool, the more simpler it is. Also, like a tool that is importing like marketplace items, giving people options to buy certain assets, letting people maybe sample assets, things like that. So, for instance, like I did get the Psychotic Society name inside of Decentraland, and I did get the world associated with that, so that is locked in and ready to go. So like for instance, I haven't even started building, and so there's going to be like a lot that comes of that. It's like when you're talking about building in Decentraland, and right now that's that's our world, let's say, what are the parameters like how are we affected, say for instance inside that world differently? What is the you see what I'm saying? So like if we want to build something inside of there, um, do we still go through the DAO to bring something into that world? How does that even work? Or are things that are like pre-approved in the builder already kind of etc.
You're talking about building, like physically building in the world?
Yeah, I mean, because I have the world now. Now it brings in like initial property. Like you could kind of choose from a few different properties, right? And so what I'm saying, but let's say you want to create like a different feature. Like let's say you wanted to put a um, some other stuff in there that may not be in there already. Is that still part of like the DAO thing? Like no matter what it is, ultimately it goes through the DAO to even get into a world. Is
No, no,
that
no,
how
no,
that?
no, no, no. I'm gonna stop you right there, and I'm gonna say, just throw the DAO. Just DAO goes over there. Okay, throw it way over there. Builders, we're over here. You don't need permission for anybody to put anything on your land. Like that was what appealed to me. Honestly, I hate to say it, but I kind of wanted to put like a giant middle finger just to like prove
But
that
how
in
would
this
you
game.
do that using the builder is his question. How do
Oh
you put a
yeah,
giant
yeah.
middle finger on your land using the
Odd
builder?
job is
Okay,
putting that together, I believe, and he came up to speak.
yeah, all you have to do, psychotic, and I say it jokingly, all you have to do, but you can create anything you want in Blender. You take the item in Blender, and this is kind of complicated. You take the item from Blender, then you put it in your world. And like if you're talking about a Decentraland parcel in Genesis Plaza, like if you own land, then you just import it through the builder tool. But if you have a Decentraland world, you have to deploy it, and there's a couple extra steps. You can put like I want to make sure you just know real clear. You don't need anybody's permission. You can put weird shit. I might have put a giant toilet on my land once just because I could, because it was from Home Depot. Actually, I couldn't. It was like it was 90,000 triangles to put a giant toilet. So like that's the freedom and the power of Decentraland. You don't need anybody's permission. What your
You do need
roadblock
it to be in the right number of triangles, though.
you do. What your roadblock is are the parameters within to build, and usually like the word triangle it'll be like a future trigger. You'll hear the word triangle and you'll be like because that's usually what stops you.
It should
But
be noted that the last slice just got a grant to make an in-world builder, so at some point in the future there'll be like a Sims-like setup where you can just drag and drop things. And then also, as I understand it, the foundation is gonna, which is part of why Canessa brings up the builder as a thing she's afraid they're gonna destroy, because they're going to, in theory, enhance it and
nope,
improve
they're
it.
not. They're not. I'm in denial. They're not gonna destroy it. I'm gonna
I
find a way to fork Decentraland so I can keep my builder
I
forever
spent an
because
hour talking to somebody who's working on the new SDK7 web builder. So they are working on it. They're making changes.
so psychotic, just so that we don't lose you. I'm just gonna rewind a little bit. You right now, the easiest way to build in a parcel of land, not a DCL world, but a parcel of land, is with the builder tool. In January of this year, the builder tool as we know it is getting migrated to a new version of it. And in that builder tool, you have really kind of tight parameters to build in. Like each parcel is 10,000 triangles. Okay, so think that in your mind. But now I want you to separate. If you use what's called the SDK, the software design kit for Decentraland, it takes a lot more experience. The triangles are not what limit you. So there's multiple ways to get stuff on your land. And hopefully that confuses you enough, but at least gets you started to know that nobody can tell you what to build on your land. Your biggest hurdle is just learning how to do it. And on that note, we've got Scott here, and Scott is your man. So Scott, take it away.
Well, I'm not your guy. I'm just a guy that happens to know shit. I mean, Rustan is as much the guy as I am. Rustan is also on the in-world builder, project or grant with Last Slice. Rustan is working on the UI with, excuse me, with M. you know, another community member here in DCL. There's a lot of people from the community that that are working through the Last Slice Collaborative to create this. Um, Put simply, it's an in-world builder that, you know, just works, right? I'm actually modeling right now a space tool for one of the 2,000 assets that are part of the grant. So there's going to be the awesome repository. So it's just a from Decentraland from the very beginning. You've got people like KJ Walker who worked on some of the assets that are in there. There's people like Shibu, and I forget who else like modeled these things. But like if you want, well, if you look in Canessa's place, let's see, the train tracks. I'm guessing that was an asset, right? Canessa, and the barbecue grills, and like a lot of things that you see in here are part of the awesome repository. So you would just type in an item that you would want. So uh, should I call you Psycho? What should I call you? What's something that you would want to put in your world?
You could call me
Okay,
Sai.
Sai. What's something you would want to put in your world?
Well, like say like a little store, and so say for instance like you had marketplace items, and you had a little store, and they could walk in the store, or say like say like or a little museum, and you had little statues, but the statues were actually little marketplace items, and they could click on those items and then interact with the marketplace
Yep.
through the world,
Yeah.
and something along those
Yes.
lines.
Yeah. So in version one, the biggest hurdle that we're attempting to overcome is, you know, you go to Hyperfy, you go to OnCyber, you go to many of the metaverse worlds right now, and you want to build in your world, in your space. You just drop GLBs, you drop 3D modeled objects into your scene while you're standing in there, like we're all hanging out with Canessa in her world. She would just drop things in, and it would work. So the idea is to create, you know, a builder like that. Currently, all of the builders, and I think there's 4 different versions. That's quattro, 4, of various stages of, you know, development or success. I would say. So that creates a very confusing landscape. But what we're attempting to do is create a builder that somebody like yourself can come into your world, come into DCL, start dropping in, you know, those assets, those statues, as you call them. We had a discussion yesterday with the 3D modelers about what we're calling components or building blocks. So like you want a wall that's a wall of glass, and you want another wall that is, you know, got wallpaper on it, or whatever. And then you need a ceiling, you need a door, you need a window. So you would get all of those different components and combine those together. Or I think we're going to have a couple of like prefabs, what we're calling prefabs, where you would just like, okay, here's a store. I don't even know. I'd have to look at the list if store is in there. But the reason I'm asking you is like, okay, I'm going to add it to the list, right? um, there's only so many things that we can think of. So I'm at the list right now, and there's like 2,600 items that are on that list. So I'm just going to search for store, and I see 1 of 9. So soda fountain drugstore is one of them that we've got planned. Store display furniture. So exactly what you're talking about. Grocery store is another one. Bookstore is another one. So now's your time. Like, you know, there's those are the store items. So like, what kind of store are you considering?
Well, I guess like a comic book store, right? I guess that would fall under bookstore. And like a NFT gallery that was but linked to the actual assets. So like the main thing is can kind of get an actual interaction. So like if they wanted to purchase something, whether it was something of Canessa's or anything in necessarily they would just be to get like a pop-up would come interface, and then that interface, they're still in the store, but they're basically you know, transacting to that marketplace while still being in the store, so the user doesn't lose
Yep.
the experience.
Yeah. So
I don't think. Can you make? I think that DG Live might have that, but I don't know. I don't know a lot about theirs. I think it's really. I know that most stores just link you to like OpenSea or to the DCL marketplace.
Right. So DG Live is one solution, and Last Slice has the Angzar Plaza. They've also created a solution. So the difference being that I think DG Live is something that's available as a consumer product. Last Slice is open sourced, so you can access it by going onto GitHub, or if you've got a developer or whatever, they can go out there. So the long and the short of it is, Sai, is that there are solutions that are just recently developed that enable you to have an in-world experience. Because right now in Decentraland, even if you want to buy a wearable, it's basically, it links you to the Decentraland marketplace, which is an external website. However, I was part of Testing Tuesday for the DG Live, and that has a joystick that enables you to like move your NFTs around. Tobic actually just released a video that goes through and talks about how to set up DG Live. When I'm not talking, I can link to that. Angzar Plaza, as I said, you can go to Angzar Plaza right now. It's like it's like 7 or like even 1, and then minus 80, and then that'll get you to Angzar in Decentraland. But they have stores, so like if you want to buy a wearable, you go to the wearable store, and then there are these mannequins that actually have the wearables on, and you can walk around them or you can rotate them. There's emotes that you can buy there. I do know that with SDK7, they don't have all the blockchain tools. So buying NFTs with a scene that is SDK7 compliant is like a couple months off. But short answer, Sai, is there are already tools that are out there. They're just not in common adoption because they're so new. But there are people that are working on getting those, getting the knowledge and getting the tools into the hands of people like yourself that have things that they want to sell and want to sell them in world. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I think it's cool. It's cool that you guys are working on that. I mean, even when I came in the space, I mean, a while back, it was probably at least 8 months ago when I first met Canessa and Sinful, and yeah, things. I do know they take time, and yeah, but I think also too, what would be cool is like also mini games. So like for instance, if a person comes on your world, for instance. And this gives opportunities for people who build stuff too. Is like, they can sell in a marketplace an actual like kit, and so let's say for instance a person brings into their world a resource pack, for instance, and so the resource pack will allow users to go around, forage items, craft items, and do all these different things in Decentraland, and then they can take those resource items back, for instance, to my store, and now certain items I may sell will actually only accept the crafted, resource items required to buy that. So in that case, it's not even any currency. They have to actually be playing the game and earn that.
Yeah,
that would be the dopest fucking smart wearable. I gotta go talk to Matt right now. There should be a wearable you can get that turns it on.
It's already on the way.
And so I can go collect berries anywhere I want.
First off, what you're describing, Sai, has already been created by entities like Vroomway, like Exodus, which is JTV's.
Not where you can collect on other people's parcels though, like a smart wearable that like gets all those to appear otherwhere. Let me
finish. Jesus, no, Vroomway specifically, in collaboration with Metagami Mall, with Knights of Antrim, with other entities, where you get an asset in one location, and then it has benefits in the other location. Is that not a thing that already exists now, Jared?
No, that's the thing. Yes, like there's interoperable
Yes.
wearables that give you different bonuses on different places. But what I'm saying, when it sounds like he described, would be like you put on that Vroomway costume, and then like when you're in Wondermine, like a barrel will appear, and you can click on it and claim that barrel, and then it like registers, like, oh yeah, you have more resources to use when you get back to Vroomway.
That's the
So
that's the
like,
Wonder Vroom, or the mining Wonder Vroom.
no, you don't. The way all that does is like if you're on Vroomway, you get the Vroomway bonuses, and if you're in Wonder Zone, you get a Wonder Zone like bonuses if you're in their wearables. But there's no like. When you're in Vroomway wearing that, you don't get to like see asteroids fall out of the sky and claim them. Like it'd be super dope if like wherever you were wearing your Wonder Mine
Well, that
outfit,
is, yeah,
if
okay,
asteroids could just
okay.
fall next to you, that'd be
I
dope.
get what you're saying now. Okay, thank you for
And that has to be
describing that.
possible.
It is totally possible. It is in the works. The Neuralink that's on the market right now, they just had an update where you can add bookmarks. The next thing that is coming is a store. So they will be having exactly that, where you can, like, even if it's a game. So like games are another thing. So think of the Neuralink as the iPhone of Decentraland, and you can install all these different apps, so that you can. Well, Derek, who created the wings for Knights of Antrim, released it as a portable experience that he was able to launch through the Neuralink. I've got a portable experience that that Lastrom helped me greatly with, called the Waypoint Pack, which we use for our tours in Decentraland. So if you're going to come on a tour, all you have to do is activate it and, click the link, and wherever we are, wherever we've set a waypoint, you can join us right away. So having something like what you're describing, Sai, is it's one OS, operating system upgrade for a wearable, a smart wearable that already exists in Decentraland. So it's, I would say, a month or two away.
No, that's cool, man. Yeah, no, a lot of my inspiration that comes from there was a game, I don't know if you played, Sega Dreamcast. Basically, there was a game called Shinumi or Shenmue. It depends on the person who says it. And inside that game, it was so detailed that you could be walking down the street and put 25 cents into a little capsule machine and turn the machine, and basically a little capsule would come out. You open it up and then look at the figure, and now that figure's added to your inventory. If you went into an arcade, it would be the same thing. So like, for instance, like if you were in a Decentraland environment in a little mall and you went into an arcade, that arcade itself, if a user goes up to it and clicks on it, they could pay a little fee, and then they could, whether it's Decentraland, crypto, whatever, it doesn't matter, however you guys work it, depending on what area this is, but it would open a little mini game, and then the player would actually be playing the little mini game. So you're a player playing in a game, playing a game, which is really
They
crazy.
have that in Spatial right now, and I know that Hyperfy, like that exact thing. I just saw somebody on Twitter in the last week. I can't remember if it was Rizzle, but it's somebody from the WIP, from the Work in Progress crew. And maybe you remember, this, Rustan, but somebody made a vending machine inside Hyperfy. So you walk up to it, and yeah, you put in like a little coin, and you click on it, and then it like spits out a little figurine, and then you can pick up that figurine, and it can be like an asset that you have in your hand. And then it's just another another step beyond that to then use that asset in games. And I do know that Hyperfy is in development of in-game games. I think, was it Dogman, that there was a shooter game. Like as soon as I got my Vipe Hero, which is a VRM that NFT project that is super dope. I took my Hyperfy, or my Vipe Hero, woo, and I went to this shooter game, and I'm pretty sure that was in Hyperfy. So it was a game inside Hyperfy, and then like you were saying, it's one additional step to make it the meta circle of a game inside that game. But the programming components exist.
There is if you guys have not been to Avatar Life, they have little arcade games that you can play, but they also have a you go there and it will take you to a Second Life type world as well, which opens up even more experiences inside it.
There's also like arcade games inside Decentraland. I know that Coke Smush, he hasn't been around in a while, but on his parcel, if OSB is here, so yeah, I've seen like you walk up to an arcade game. That's actually one of the assets that we've Black Node, one of our modelers, just created like 4 different versions of like a stand-up arcade game. And in these other ones that I've seen, you walk up to it and then it just overtakes your screen and you play, I don't know, Galaga or Pac-Man or something like that. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Right. You could play the mini game. So it's like almost like you creating ways for your community to spend assets and to earn assets. Like, so you gotta have a little currency, like a little economy running, and that kind of ties into itself. So that way you're creating like a loop, a replay value loop. Yeah.
No, you're talking about consumables, and that's something that's essential, you know, especially for a deflationary aspect for your currency. You want people to come and spend token or whatever credits, whatever you want to call it, and they have an experience, and then that particular, you know, fund is burned or whatever. So it's like they're spending time in game. So yeah, there are certain developers that have experiences or have games in Decentraland that have that. Extending it to interoperability between different parcels is something that is, you know, very soon on the way with your smart wearable or portable experience. And that's something that, you know, just came out a couple weeks ago, about a month ago. And it's been in the works for like over a year. So hope we've answered your questions.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'm pretty excited. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If anyone didn't get a Decentraland like name and a world, I really, really, and this is just my opinion, I think it's a tremendous value because normally you get these names and you literally get nothing for it at all. You just get the name, and guess what? There's many, many names on many different chains, and you get nothing for it. You just get the name, but to actually get the physical world inside, and which was really cool. I was impressed with the templates because the templates that they come with, although it was just a few, but they were the few that they had, and they have a newer one coming, like I think it was like a nightclub. They're really nice templates, and so I was like, wow, these actually are pretty dope, and I didn't expect them to be that highly detailed. And it seemed like they really put some time into that, and so that, to me, that was just like a bunch of like added value already for like the $30. So you know what I mean? I definitely, it's been a great experience so far. So I definitely can't wait to build on it. You know?
You're not limited to just those 3-4 prefabs. You know, if you go to create your or edit your scene, you'll see down below different scenes people have created, and I know some of those for sure are like DCL contests from Sandstorm or whatnot. Those are all available for people to use as well, or you can find them on the GitHub as well, the repository.
Yeah. Do you know if there's a way, like, say, if a user finds your world, or say you're advertising your world, right, and people are going to come into it? Do you know if there's a way to gate it in such a way, or is it just like,
Yes.
how does that work?
Yes. Actually, Dogman, a community member who's a active community member developer. He just released, and it's in the CBD Discord. I'm looking right now. There's an SDK channel. He created a token gating system for an SDK 7 compliant parcel. So yes, I haven't used it yet. I plan to.
That
But
requires
And you should be
coding,
able to add a
doesn't it?
password even if you wanted to as well.
That requires coding, doesn't it, though, Scott?
yes, yeah, it does. But it's like there's people in this community that can help you. Is what I'm trying to say. So if you can't do it yourself, there will be somebody here that will spend the time to help you get it done.
No, that's cool, man. I will tell you what. Yeah, I actually worked with Brandon down there. I seen you, Brandon, man. Yeah, his voice is deep, man. Like you said, it's like very Barry White. You know what I mean? Just smearing syrup all over you. You know, you so yeah, he built a wearable for us, and it was just it's very like small little mask. You know, I almost wanted like a variant version at some point where it's like got like LED accents to it, and so it kind of like have two different versions. But the process of the wearable was a little bit, it was a little bit. So it was like, I did it, and but yeah, it was fun to actually go on that little journey with Brandon on that. So
And the price came down to submit that. Did you know? It was $150. It's only $100 now.
okay, awesome. Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, I appreciate it.
No refunds though.
No, I know. Like Canessa made some cool stuff. Like I think I bought one of her little beer can things where you like drink and do this some stuff. She made some crazy stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Some of her stuff is dope, man. Like some of that like emotes are like legendary emotes. Like people have no idea if they've not seen those. They're definitely dope, man. No lie. What
Well,
was the
thank
one
you.
you were you twerking in one of those? Can you like? I think I saw one that there was some twerking involved. I don't know, man. It was.
Hey, I put a disclaimer, use as
I
directed.
mean, you don't have to
So,
admit to it. I know there was drinking. There
oh,
was a lot.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're in World right now, I just noticed
I'm
what
sorry if
Mosca's
I
doing.
made Canessa blush on that one. Am I rug? I
Oh,
don't know, man. I
darling,
just want to make sure I'm not rug.
oh, can you not hear me?
Yeah, Canessa's talking
Oh.
right now, Sai. You probably can't hear her though.
Yeah, you're not gonna make me blush. I'm here to do the opposite, actually. But thank you.
What is the opposite of blushing?
No, I'm. He's not gonna make me blush. I'm here to.
That's a good question.
Oh, to contribute.
She says thank you, Psycho. By the way.
This awkward silence was brought to you by Rustan. Make sure to head over to the wearable marketplace, get your Rustan drip. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. It's been an awesome conversation. I know I've been a little quiet, but it's been for good cause. I've been just adding names to the Pink Punk Pant Grant, so that like whenever we roll, we have a nice full list. I do see that Rustan has come up to speak. He's been here with us. So, I mean, if I'm not interrupting a topic right now, maybe we could kind of segue into that.
Hey.
Hey, Sin, before we go on, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I hear you.
Okay, just making sure I wasn't rugged because I think Psycho couldn't. But yeah, go ahead, Ruston. Thank you.
Yeah, I just been gathering these names. I put up a wheel. We have 76 names. I'm excited to pick 3 winners, each to receive 516 mana towards the creation of a wearable or emote or portable experience, smart wearable maybe. Any of the above. Like I really hope it helps somebody. do something cool. And it's been really cool to see all these names get added. It's cool to see that there's more than 38 people and so many familiar names. I'm really happy about that. So whenever you're ready, we can roll.
Here, 1 second. Let me get it up on the screen, and we'll be good. All righty.
Ready to go?
We're ready to go.
All right, first winner. 3, 2, 1, rolling. Oh, I wanted to screen record this. I forgot. Damn it. Derek.
No way.
That was your first nomination, Zen. Let me get a screenshot at least.
Yeah, my first nomination, and actually like someone that I like was rooting for. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Derek's been around a lot recently and been really active, and I really just love to see a new name, someone who's been active catch that. So I'm going to remove his name now from the wheel.
Congrats, Derek.
Go with number 2.
Is that another name? Another new name?
Awesome. I don't know Zetter. Do you know you nominated Zetter, didn't you, or was that someone else?
Either Scott or I, but yes, I've seen Zetter around. He recently published a Mythic jacket on the marketplace, and everyone's been loving it. I think Canessa got one.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think Zetter made that, and they're connected somehow with Furry Paws. I don't know if they are. No, CJ says Furry Paws friend, but yeah, Furry Paws NFT. That they've been here a long time. But yeah, that texturing on it is dope. So that's awesome to see Zetter get this. Cool.
That's cool. That's cool. All right, let's go with the next one. And the winner is Ahoy Malloy. OG.
Let's go. Were those 3 nominations of mine?
I think so.
Well, I mean, I did spam the comments, like just adding names after name, whoever I didn't see.
I feel like you deserve some sort of prize for getting all 3 nominations hitting. Awesome.
I'll take a gold star sticker, and that's it.
Well, so I'm going to reach out to all the winners, get their addresses, and send the money. I'm definitely not accepting any DMs from anyone. I've been burned in the past accepting DMs from scammers. So winners should expect to hear from me. Thank you, everybody.
Do you have a way to contact Derek?
I don't know. So
I could possibly get him in the Discord call right now.
I was just going to say, I'm posting in Discord general right now with Zetter, cool. Derek, and Malloy doesn't appear to be on the CBD.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Scott. Yeah. Cool. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Congratulations, everybody that won.
Thank you once again for doing this, Rustan. As you can see here, you just provided the submission fee for 2 new creators. So, you know, that goes a long way, man. He's the real one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they make and hopefully buy it too.
Right now, I think I see Derek over here. He's wearing his wings, his collaboration with Knights of Antrim and CJ. He added the flying code to it, so like with those wings you can fly, and it's been very smooth. I've been watching him work on this code for like probably a month and a half now. And so, yeah, thank you, Rustan, and thank you everyone for being here. If you haven't liked and retweeted the room, please make sure to do so. Let's get some friends in here, talk about any Decentraland related topics that we need to cover.
I'm curious to what people think is the AI theme and means for October.
Yeah, and if we are going to see Violetta. Was that Violetta's name? Violetta. Right? The AI that used to run around.
Oh,
I
Oh,
haven't seen her for a long time.
The
no,
DeFi
it was
coffee place.
Yeah.
there's a musician in Web3 actually hangs out with famous Dill that goes by Violetta. So I thought that's who you were talking about.
Violetta is it's a avatar that used to show up on my land, and I'd be like by myself, and always like when you get snuck up on it, always kind of it's like, oh well, it's just I don't know, like I still get startled even though y'all are just avatars. Like
She's got a Twitch channel
some,
that you could watch. Yeah,
Violetta, the avatar in
yeah,
Decentraland.
yeah,
No way.
yeah.
yeah,
No, go ahead, Simple.
yeah. I remember PB one time, like went to Violetta's Twitch and then started chasing Violetta and like screenshotted himself like in the shot running behind her.
That's
And I
awesome. As somebody who's also chased Violetta.
yeah, it's kind of funny how like we used to see that account and would be like, let us be nice to you, come back.
Yeah, I mean, like I guess, yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, it's a AI avatar that comes to Decentraland, and she would spawn into my parcel, and I'd be like, "Hi," and they kind of like look. They don't speak. I don't think she's ever spoken to me, but they look like they're going to interact with you. Like they stop, they come back, but it's all AI. And so then they just run away from you. And so the first few times I'm like, oh gosh, okay, like they must not like me. But then I was like, okay, it's you again. Where are you going? And so then I'd run after them. And I think one time I caught up to her and got her wallet address and then sent her a bunch of random like wearables so that the creator of the AI could have fun with them. But
It's
yeah,
carbon coffee, I think is.
carbon coffee. Yeah. I want to see them more. I think that would be awesome.
I remember they used to wear the wearables that you gave them. They used to like switch outfits and stuff like that.
So, I mean, Violetta could be here. I could imagine other AI like art, like artists, art. I don't know about music. Could there be like AI musicians for AI month? I mean, it's October. It's here.
Yeah, it makes also like with to one existence question, like wonder what that theme will look like if like will there be like an incentive for community members to create their own AI model or write code for it. Wonder what can be done with that.
Oh my gosh, so much. I mean, you could program it so many ways, like using Chat GPT to answer for you. Kind of like Ingzar, remember? I mean, when the what was it? The NPC characters for our avatars came out. I don't know if those are active right now. I know for a while they took them away, but that was really cool. Like where you could program what your avatar says to people.
Yes, I was calling it CNPC for a while, but I think they were called CPCs.
That's correct, CPCs.
Uh, yeah, they were really cool. I really liked mine, like just having them right next to the CBD screen, and like you click on them, it's like, hey, join the CBD Discord. Here's the link. As well as like, you know, how easy it was to program your CPC. Big
Yeah,
love.
like
Go ahead.
oh no, you go ahead. I was just gonna say it'd be cool to like if you answer correctly, you get like a wearable or something. Like if I have a donut and I say, you know, what's your favorite donut? And then like I get to choose what answers are correct or something like that, like make it interactive. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, like us talking about this is actually making me just want to like hit up Kim and be like, listen, what is the foundation's vision for AI theme? Like, do we dress up as AIs? How do we know what AIs dress up as? They could dress up as anything, really.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at like, so when did they announce the themes? That might have been like July probably ish, I think, or June at the very earliest. But like, we just had September was the architecture month, right? And so I believe the only celebration or like event was the I thought it said biennial because I'm from Wisconsin, so we say things really like. Then I hear people say it's like beignet or benial. How do you pronounce that? I know you better.
Then there's me. I've been calling it the Bionicle.
Okay.
Aren't those the little figurine toys that were like Transformers?
Yep, in the early to mid 2000s, I believe, on like Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I think it's what's Jared? Where's Jared? Jared says it. I think he says it correctly. Binale,
I think so. Benali.
like Svengali.
So
I don't know. If only there was somebody from the Benali or the Bionicle here to help us out with the pronunciation.
I would ask them that question.
It's
Then I would ask.
biennale. That's how I've heard. That's how they said it in the video, like from the dudes hosting it. The biennale.
Tell me, when you say that word, are you making hand gestures? I feel like the word comes with a hand gesture or two.
I'm actively in the grocery store holding a basket in my phone, so I couldn't gesture, but I would have otherwise, of course. But I also just mostly am spasming with my hands at all times when talking.
Have you guys talked about the mobile client or clients, I should say, mobile clients?
No.
We have not. I did see that yesterday you posted a tweet about like Godot. Is that a G
Godot,
dot?
like waiting for Godot.
Godot.
Yeah.
The very well known, very pop culture relevant Waiting for Godot, which I read once.
Well, okay. That's how you pronounce it, though. It's Godot. That's how I've heard people from the foundation who are developers that use it on a regular basis. They call it Godot. But there's been work by a couple of developers. Um, if you go into the DCL DAO, which I try not to do, Discord, there's there's a channel called Platform. So there's like a grant that is there just for developing platform developments, and there's a discussion. Uh, they hired a developer. I guess through this grant, they hired a developer to create a Godot-based client, a Babylon JS client. Kanessa, you ought to remember that. I think before there was a builder, and you wanted to test out your scenes, you had to drop it into Babylon JS. Am I correct there?
No, that I mean for the builder that when they submitted it or when it came out, it was just the builder. I hate to say it was the builder as we know it. There's been like one update since then.
Okay, my understanding was like the early builder was like a derivation of Babylon. Whatever, bygones. So there's the Godot, there's Babylon, and then there's one other one whose name is escaping me. I could try to go into the DCL DAO Discord channel and look at the discussion. Basically, there was three different development arms. One of those arms, I think it was on the Babylon, that sort of like ran into a roadblock and then they stopped development. So there's two different um, game rendering engines that they have been working on developing clients for. And one of those, which is the Godot, and that's actually, we use the Godot render in the builder when you're testing out your wearables and your emotes, because they're able to do it like without it being on chain or something, or whatever. And that's why the emissions look different when you're checking something out in builder than when you look at it in world, and why you need to look at them both in world. But the point is that there is active development for Android and iOS versions of Decentraland client on those platforms. And I'm going to go look now for that post.
So I guess from a noob or non-technical perspective, like like a Godot client, like would that benefit the Decentraland? Or actually, I guess
Yes.
going even further back, was this Godot like engine was or client? Is it like more of a 2D? Like, I'm still like a little hazy about that
So
aspect of
so
things.
what we use now is Unity. That is the renderer, right? That's the game engine, the renderer that takes all the other, takes SDK, takes stuff from the blockchain. It's like there's considered a stack, right? So you've got to have a server. You've got to have your ones and zeros live somewhere, and that's usually on a server. And then on top of that, you've got things like JavaScript and TypeScript. Those are programming languages. And then on top of that is the SDK, so that people can access it. In there is the Decentraland client, and that has to have a renderer. Um, there's been discovery in these different renderers like Babylon JS, like Godot, uh, in addition to Unity, because Unreal is another game engine. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of Unreal. um, there's just there are there's an ecosystem of developers, and I see Madamus is out there, so if I say anything that's like not quite correct or whatever, please correct me. But just like any programming language, there's people that understand how to develop in those environments. And now there's been like a change in licensure for Unity that's made it difficult to be an indie game developer, from what I understand. So if it's more difficult to develop something, or more expensive, then there's going to be perhaps fewer people that develop on that platform. You want to have a healthy ecosystem of developers that can write for your platform, so that so that you can continue to release updates. Things are going to break. You're going to want to do new things like emotes 2.0, or portable experiences, or smart wearables. So I think February is the date that the new client, the newly designed client that they talked about in the all hands. What was that, about a month or two ago? That they had worked on at that point. Had been working on it for 3 months. And so Godot is it's one of those. I believe it's open sourced. I don't know a whole lot about it. There are reasons why it's been used in the development pipeline in Decentraland, because it meshes well with a lot of the ideology of Decentraland. But it just makes, I think, a lot of sense for an open source decentralized platform that Decentraland purports itself to be, to have clients on as many different game platforms as possible. If Malloy is here too, he's somebody who's worked in the game industry. He can talk more about that. But from what I've seen, and I'm talking now, so I'm not able to look and talk at the same time, but I will find that post, and it's basically got a person on the desktop using the Godot platform client, and then somebody on iOS and somebody on Android, and it's got three of those people meeting in world together. And I asked them a question if this was done locally on their local network or if it was done on a server, because that's they're demonstrating a multiplayer where you've got somebody who's on desktop and then two other people who are on mobile. That's great, but is it being deployed in a very uh, pristine environment, or is it going to be from one like the Hella server or the Loki server or whatever? I don't know, but that would be like the next step. So I would say the more points of entry that you can get for people to come and develop for Decentraland, the better, especially now in the bear market where let's face it, I mean, there's just not a whole lot of users here, and there's not a whole lot of income coming in, and it's the time where you work hard in developing the platform, because there's all kinds of innovation happening in these other metaverse worlds, and we need to keep up.
Yes, that is that last statement right there. We need to keep up. Okay, well, thank you for kind of like that explanation with Godot. Kind of, I mean, I'm excited to see what kind of developments would be made with that. How Decentraland will benefit from it. But okay, so I remember before I asked my dumb question, you were looking for a tweet, I believe.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Was it the tweet about the mobile client for Decentraland?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because I was looking for the thing about token gating, and I did post that, and I did put it in here, and that was for Psy. So I already got that up there, but I'm actively looking right now for. I think I have a link to at least to the YouTube post that I can then put here on Twitter, and then I'll look for the Decentraland DAO Discord channel where they are doing this development on Godot and Babylon JS and one other rendering that's not Unity that I can't remember.
What I'd like to know is, and it was supposed to launch on the 28th, is the AI builder, which would be perfect for AI month, but I've yet to see where that's located at.
I mean, I've seen updates from. Are you talking about the grant, right? Through the DAO?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen their updates. I mean, if you go onto the DAO and there's like, they've got to do their monthly updates. There was a thing where they did a car or whatever.
I got an invite. Yay.
Okay. There's also, when I was on the Metaverse 3 this past week, I highlighted something called 3DFi, so 3DFY, and there's a way that you can just text to 3D. And then while I was there, Zone, who worked on the AutoCube.ai project, which is also text to 3D, told me about Meshi, and that's so Meshi.ai, I think is what it is another text to 3D service that you could check out. So those are three different ones that you could use right there. Okay, I found the tweet, and their post says from YouTube. It says, "This Explorer is an alternative client made in Godot it's the replacement of the Unity Explorer in the Protocol Squad proposal. Check out the client, and then there's a link to GitHub. So I'll post a link to this YouTube. It's Lean, Lean Mendoza. I'm just gonna go ahead and subscribe. I've already liked their video, but yeah, I'll put this in the on the jumbotron and in the comments down below.
Thank you. So just this just like popped into my head, and I guess it could be relevant. Did everyone see the Lex Friedman and Mark Zuckerberg interview recently? The one that was done in the metaverse?
No, but then somebody else told me about it, and I think I saw it on yours. So tell us more for those who haven't watched it yet.
I mean, just I didn't watch the entire interview. I got to sit down and actually listen to it. But like, I was just very blown away by like kind of like how Meta. We could probably learn from them, even though they're evil. Like they saw they looked at what what the metaverse was, and they picked a direction. This direction seems to be like the hyper realism, like be able to like have an interpersonal connection with a human that is thousands of miles away. um like literally like the facial expressions and like how I want to say the graphics, but like yeah, how the imagery, how it was all like just very well made, way better than I thought it would.
I saw
But
a little bit of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. It's like over an hour long. I'm just reminded of the other PR stuff that Meta has done back when they were heavily promoting, their metaverse, um, and it was not truthful. It wasn't like what you were seeing was a pre-rendered. It wasn't rendered in real time. It wasn't it was smoke and mirrors. So my first thought when I saw this, I'm like, yeah, that looks really cool. Um, I'd like to see, 100 players in world at the same time. It's just yeah. I see it as okay. That looks cool, but in practicality, I'd like to go in and kick the tires myself. So until I see something like that, it's kind of like the other side, right? Like, where the hell is that? um, I hear lots of great things about it, but it's still like, as far as I'm concerned, vaporware. And we're out here right now actively at Canessa's place in Decentraland. So it's like, okay, whatever, get back to me on that.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, in the past they have taken like a slightly like an approach that where they twisted the truth a little bit. I don't as far as like the interview goes, I don't know if they would use Lex as like kind of like a, a like I fig sorry. In other words, I figured they would use Lex more as a way to like show the world like how far they've come and like in an actual like use case. Now with what you just mentioned about like having 100 people loaded into into a world together, yeah, I don't think they have that. I would see their technology mainly more used to like let's say a board meeting
Person to
or like
yeah.
some sort.
Yeah, it's like it's basically iMessage, like what Apple already showcased on their spatial computing, headset, the what's it called, the Vision, the Apple Vision. It's like it's visual and it's not structural. And from everything that I've read about what is needed to create the metaverse that we see in Ready Player One, or any other fanciful uh, PR stunt of what it is, it's like you need to have the exponentially increasingly huge amounts of data and messages that get sent from one person to the 100 other people that are in the scene at the same time. And from everything that I've heard, nobody has cracked that yet. It's like it's not just a problem of video compression or audio compression. It's like experience compression. You have to take every single thing that I'm doing right now, where I'm sitting at my chair, my dog is at my feet, my hand is moving around, I'm gesticulating, I'm doing things with my face. All of those things for the 100 people that are in the room need to be sent that. It need to be sent that in real time, and then be able to react to all those things that I'm doing in real time. And it either has to go through a server, or if it goes directly, from one client to the other in a distributed fashion, it still has to propagate 100 times, and everybody has to see that at the same time, like you would if we were in the room at the same time. And that just isn't here yet.
I agree. I saw that Rustan came up to speak whenever I mentioned the meta.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched the whole interview last night. I thought it was incredible. I totally hear what Scott's saying. You're definitely right. We're not there yet. But what I caution everybody to do, though, like, before everyone automatically assumes that Meta is the devil, like, I'm very wary of any press that I hear about Meta. I tend to listen to Zuckerberg when he says stuff, and not take what other people say about him. And what I gain from it is he seems to be, like, building in the right direction. And I was very inspired by their presentation of the MetaQuest 3. I thought they destroyed Apple's presentation of their headset. And I think he mentioned photorealistic, people's interest in photorealistic representation, but he also mentioned the idea of being a cartoon avatar and that not affecting humans psychologically at the same time. But they're, like, analyzing what works best, what draws people the most. And there was also another YouTube video about a month ago, maybe 2 months, about 38 users. It's weird how the number 38 keeps popping up all over the place, but 38 users in Horizon Worlds, and this guy was going around Horizon Worlds criticizing every little thing. And as I was watching that, looking at it objectively, I realized that there is a whole community that exists in Horizon Worlds that resembles Decentraland. It's like an alternate dimension of Decentraland. And, like, there's community there, there's children there that are playing around like Roblox, which is not the case in Decentraland, of course. But, like, don't hesitate to pay attention to what's happening. After what I saw that presentation yesterday with MetaQuest 3, I want that headset real bad. I want the glasses, the Ray-Ban glasses. They're doing a lot of smart things. I think they're going to onboard a lot of people. And I think Decentraland needs to step up to the plate and stay on par. Otherwise, they're going to get lost in the dust. Yeah, like, it's pretty exciting. Everybody watched that. Lex Friedman thing. It's very important.
Yeah, it's so exciting. It's funny because I remember I was, like, watching a Lex Friedman podcast. I think it was, like, the last one, where they were talking about like AR. Number It was episode number 2 in their series, I guess. They were talking about AR and how at the time, like, Mark was kind of, like, hinting, like, hey, yeah, I mean, like, we've been researching that. The issue is making a battery that's small enough that can fit in the frame of of sunglasses, and that, and, like, where does the heat go and everything like that. So, like, and they in that same interview, he did mention that that Meta had partnered up with Ray-Ban. And and to like, fast forward now, it's probably been like a year since that interview, and like we have it. It's like Ray-Ban, but not AR necessarily, but I feel like just like integrating AI to sunglasses could be the start of like just the start of future technology that will bring AR.
Yeah, it's basically Google Glass as a Ray-Ban, and Google Glass came out in like 2012, 2013, something like that. And so it's back. It's back now, and it's not the Meta Quest 3, but it has its own purposes. Um, it's just what really interests me from that interview yesterday is Lex Friedman is kind of a normie. The comments are filled with normies, and there's a lot of positive feedback from that interview, and I see it as a very good thing for metaverse dialogue. Um, I even Lex Friedman brought up the idea that people will be able to see representation of family and loved ones that have passed away. So I jumped on that and emailed Lex Friedman and added comments in his YouTube, trying to demonstrate the build that I made for my friend Julia, so that he could see that already exists. That's like not something that can be; it already exists. And it'll only get better.
Ooh, I hope he gets a whiff of it. And I mean, definitely, you have a point. It does open up the conversation. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I was gonna say just real quick to Rustan, when you posted that video, I totally watched it, and I actually got a little sidetracked when I was getting ready to watch the Lex Friedman Zuckerberg conversation. There was this YouTuber who ran an ultra marathon in the metaverse using AltSpace VR. It was from 7 months ago, but it was just whatever, hilarious. I wanted to say that I found it. It's called the DAO Protocol Squad. I put a link in the comments below. Bevy, Bevy, is the other render option. So there's Bevy, Godot, and Babylon. Um, it's it's not. I think perhaps the development on Babylon stalled or stopped because it's really good for experimental stuff, but for multi-user platform, it's not as proven. So yeah, if you guys want to just check out some really exciting stuff, it's kind of wonky, uh, but just know that there's stuff going in the background. And as a special enticement, from back early on in September, there are posts, well, as far back as March even, from Esteban posting in there. So there's there's some serious shit going down with these alternate clients on these other platforms. I think it's really smart uh, to not, quote, putting all of our eggs in one basket. It does sort of like fracturize concentration in one area, but I'd say if there's ever going to be a time to be safe to do that, it would be now, because we don't have 1,000 people daily active users coming in and breaking shit and getting upset and then leaving and not coming back. So yeah, check it out.
Definitely will. Definitely will. So what's the deal with those emotes 2.0?
I'm really surprised
Anyone?
to see how quickly they got it out. I remember when I was working on the sweep the floor emote, I made that specifically with the purpose in mind of making an emote 2.0. I think I can talk about it now, but when I was in World and I was testing out that emote, I saw Alvaro also in the test network, in the Gorelli test network, testing out the tennis serve emote 2.0, and he's like, "Oh yeah, these are probably going to be some of the things that you can do, but don't quote me on it because I'm still testing things out." So this was like 5 weeks ago or so, and I had just made the assumption that, okay, I'll take it with a grain of salt. smart wearables came out, back in Metaverse Fashion Week, the first one, and then we didn't see them for like 18 months later, and now they're a thing. So I was just thinking that there's no guarantee. I have plans this weekend, amongst the many of the other things that I'm doing, along modeling and reworking our grant application, Canessa. But to get into the documentation for Emotes 2.0, basically you get some additional bones, and bones are the controllers that you use to deform the mesh that makes it look like a person whose knees are bending instead of a robot whose knees are bending. It creates a deformation that is more lifelike. But you can also use bones in many other ways. But you get a prop, and I think you get 3,000 triangles. You get 2 materials, 2 textures, and an audio file. The whole thing has to be 3 megabytes or less. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, the audio file has to be no longer than 299 frames. It has to be the same length as the animation file. And you got to name things certain, there's like rules or whatever, so that just like an emote or a wearable, that when you submit it through the website, whatever their parser knows how to grab those assets and put them all in the right spot. So when your character is being generated, it's being called up like in rendering for a scene, it knows where to grab all the right assets and assemble it properly. So if you don't name those things, or if you don't have weighting done properly, things explode and they don't work. And all that's in documentation that's on the website, and it's actually quite well documented. Like I said, I haven't gone through and applied any of that, but from first blush, it looks like they spent a lot of time to make sure that people like myself, Canessa, other members in the community that are community creators can start to create assets that conform to those new standards that they've created. I'm really excited about it.
I'm expecting probably
Somebody
Madamus.
wanted to know, it was Zom, he was wondering about your modeling career. You're doing some modeling this weekend. Is there more you can tell us about that, or is it like
I'll talk about that, but Existence sounded like you had something else to say. Go ahead, Existence.
I was mentioning to Madamus, I'm expecting a joint, literally smoking joint emote to go along with your deal you have, and then something that came up with, I think it was Meta Tiger posted something about something, and I mentioned something I don't see a lot of is sports wearables. So like a touchdown dance emote might be kind of cool, with the actual football being thrown down, if those are possible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just figured eventually, individuals will come through that love sports, and create it.
Well, and I'm not a sports person either, but it's just something I realized we don't see a lot of.
No, I think this is exactly the reason why they're doing this, and I think it's smart that they are doing this. I keep coming back to they're titling this the Year of the Creator. It lends itself, and Emotes 2.0 lends itself to a lot of different ideas. Like, you're not a sports person, Existence, but you can definitely see an end zone celebration emote, that spawns a football. And when I was in the call, the 3D discussion yesterday, I mentioned the fact that the Emotes 2.0, it's kind of like a smart wearable, right? It's like a reverse smart wearable. I mean, they seem to me to be like 2 different manifestations of the same thing, where with a
Can you
smart
spawn
wearable,
a whole additional avatar?
I mean, as long as it's under 3,000 triangles, yes.
So like a 3,000 triangle Patrick Swayze can totally like hold you like you're the girl in
Ghost?
wherever the one where
Ghost.
Nobody puts baby in a corner. Isn't that the one with the dancing where he like holds her above him and the
Dirty
epic dance?
Dancing.
Dirty
Dancing.
Dancing. Okay, I thought you were talking about Demi Moore where they're
Ooh,
like
I mean,
potting together.
Also, that's also good. That's an excellent one. There's a lot. Listen, we can Patrick Swayze all over this place. There's so many excellent opportunities to summon him. May R.I.P.
I mean, the sway emote that I did
Holographic
with
Pat.
Tang Poco, that could be. You could just summon a partner and dance with a partner. Yeah.
the loner, like, never have to ask anyone to dance again.
But my point is, yes, Jared, yes, okay. So Art Cibola, the person I nominated them for the pink punk thing that Rustan did because he's the one that did Girlfriend on Shoulders, right? So he created an entire additional avatar as a wearable that would like sit on your shoulders. So yes, that's already
That
been
is
done.
an iconic wearable.
It is, especially when you do Head Explode and then she like grows to 3 times the size of a normal avatar. But when you've got a smart wearable, it's a GLB, it's a mesh that you can use to spawn a UI, and you can trigger an emote from that. And when I created my my cowboy boots, that was my original idea. But like, it'd be really cool if you buy these boots and then you can get the line dance, that goes with it. Whatever. That's like I'm still working on that too. But then an emotes 2.0 is an emote that when you trigger the emote, you can spawn a prop. Now the beauty of that is that it doesn't have to be a wearable. It can exist outside of the avatar. And there's nothing saying that we've got auras and we've got all kinds of wearables like the rocket that shoots over your shoulder, a little ape that sits on your shoulder, a devil or whatever. But I think it's like a limitation of imagination. But now that we see it as like somebody doing a tennis serve or the love bomb where the hearts come everywhere. We've had the ho 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 and the snowfall and that sort of stuff. I mean, that's always been the standard emotes, and now they've made that available. They've created a standardization of that and a protocol for that, so that creators like you and I can begin to create those things and start populating it. I honestly think that's Decentraland's biggest superpower, right? Is the marketplace, is the 8,000 and growing unique collectibles uh, is really powerful. And when you open it up to emotes 2.0 and other assets, you give the people the ability to express themselves creatively, and they're gonna do it, especially when it's as relatively simple. I mean, it's not so simple. There's a lot of people that are struggling to figure out how to do it. But yeah, 8,000 collectibles. Holy crap. It boggles my mind. It's like, where are we going to be a year from now with emotes and wearables, with smart wearables, portable experiences, emotes 2.0, and whatever else they've got coming up next. I'm excited.
What I want to see is when these new changes get rolled out, is it, I don't know if it's accidental, if it or if it's coincidental, but there's a couple emotes that stopped working when emotes 2.0 came out. So there's one that I have that now when I use it, it just does the T pose, like the arms go up. So something must have gotten, yeah, I mean, something got buggered in it, because I can see it's the avatar. And I don't know if it affected, like, if looped emotes, if that's a part of it. But then also Mosca noticed, like Mosca said, they like to use the first 3 seconds of a certain emote. And so normally you could just sit there and keep restarting the emote. Now you can't. Yeah. Like once you start, it doesn't. So there's like these other changes too that kind of, maybe it's totally coincidental, maybe that other one, but I've been seeing more. There was another one I saw in the marketplace that does a T-pose. So that, and then, there was something else I was going to say, that when these new features get rolled out, sometimes it kind of like causes some other, cause and effect to happen.
To
But I'll have to think
to
about
get
the
back to
question.
Zom's question, I just want to make sure that I address Zom's question. The modeling that I'm working on is with Last Lice Collective for the In-World Builder. We've been meeting about it. I mean, Knessa, you knew about at least the initial meetings through Last Lice Discord, but yeah, we started on Monday officially, but I started on Friday of last week. So I've been working on this for about a week, and yeah. So there's the 2,600 whatever assets objects that are in our list, and that anybody in the public can see. Very soon, we're going to be posting things to the GitHub repository that we have for the In-World Builder. You know, if you go on to CBD, I think I'm still in there. Yeah, I'm in productivity right now. And I think I'm still sharing my screen. Am I? Am I not? No, I wasn't. Okay. I thought I was. I was, and then I came on here. So yeah, I'm modeling space tools. I've got a Goddard Space Flight Center tools diagram, and there's this thing called a debris shield handling aid that looks really fucking cool. So I'm making a low poly 3D model version of that, and you know I'm going to put that in some sort of a space toolkit. And if somebody sees a use for this asset, then great. It'll have material and textures. And if it's not a prop, but it's like a component, a building asset, then it will have colliders. And yeah, there's going to be 2,000 additional items, and we've got a great team working on it right now that's been modeling these things.
I think Zom heard you say that you were doing some modeling. We were thinking in World, we were asking if it was like male modeling, like an agency, like if you were doing like Pendleton.
Will you be the cover
or like
model or more just a
Filson.
centerfold? Like,
Yeah,
you know?
center.
I mean, that's kind of a good idea. When hunks of DCL calendar coming out, I don't know. That would be fun.
Oh my gosh,
when we
yes,
finally have enough to fill out a whole calendar.
I mean, I've gained
This could
20
be so
pounds
fun.
since I've been in Web3, so maybe I could fill out a couple of pages. So I don't know.
Could we have like here's AJ at the computer writing some code?
Yeah. Yeah, we could definitely auction off some, like, you know, the 12 nerds of Decentraland. We got decades worth of calendars we can make. I'm happy to volunteer for the nerds of Decentraland auction calendar.
We'll put the centerfold to a DAO vote just to make sure that we
absolutely
put some spice in there.
We've got to get Gary. I won't do it unless Gary's a part of the project.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Speaking of which, though, I think some of your emotes and some of your wearables are too good, because I've been reading about how, like, Twitter or X, you know, the algorithm punishes people who's sharing, like, censorable content. And I can't help but think that, like, Zesty has earned himself on the place of the, like, you know, punished list with that content yesterday. And I definitely think there's, you know, I feel like that's a problem. I'm trying to analyze, I'm like, why do some people who tweet about Decentraland get, like, no reach? And, like, why do others, when I, like, because, like, based on who you tag in a photo, you're just like, well, that one did way worse than I would have thought. And I'm like trying to figure out, like, okay, which one of you guys got, like, in trouble? And I'm just, like, analyzing everyone's content like a detective. And my theory right now is that, like, you know, M's panties, that couldn't have been good for Dr. Drip getting all, like, liking and retweeting those. That had to have hurt him a little bit. And then, you know, riding you like a bull was probably bad for Zesty's reach.
Oh, that was Zesty riding Zesty.
Oh, I forgot that he cheated and, like, saved an outfit with his crown, because I was like, how else? Oh, okay, well, that's good. I knew you had a sense of humor, but I also know that you're a mother and a teacher and a classy lady. So apologies for assuming. Zesty, you pervert.
Yes, the classy lady who made the emo and totally caught by surprise when it was used in such a way.
Yes, you had no idea. That's valid. How dare you, Zesty? How dare you? Either way, some content like that can't possibly be good for his reach. unless he's trying to reach into the perverts, which is valid. That is a
I
marketing.
know Zesty. I know his social media presence is of the utmost concern. So I'm sure he's, trying to do some damage recovery because he cares a lot. I'm sure.
Which is why he's the perfect person to use as an example, because it won't hurt anyone's feelings. Because he's, there's nothing anyone here can say to him that hasn't been said 10 times worse to him on whatever 4chan server he spent his formative internet years on.
So that's something. I get the feeling that your avatar has been in the military at some point. I see you sweeping dirt.
Yes, I'm working on the railroad. Royce and I, we have to we have to work on this railroad. It's just, this is the struggle, we're laying the tracks, we're bridging the gap, laying the foundation between no, laying the
Laying
foundation,
pipe.
bridging the gap between Web 2 and Web 3. We're laying pipe. Royce is doing it in a crown and really nice pants. I'm wearing something more sensible.
Those are the only thing Royce
Daisy
owns. They're really
shorts.
nice pants and a crown. He's a gentleman through and through.
That's true. Yeah, when shovel, when broom emote, because we were sweeping up. I have to do all this with my
on the way.
That they took away my bloom. I don't know why you would.
I read that's coming back by Monday. Someone tweeted that someone from the foundation told them it'd be back on Monday.
No.
Then I will take this opportunity to go to the official Discord and type "when bloom." Sorry, Kanessa.
No, all I was going to say is no comment.
I mean, there's no reason to suggest the foundation has ever postponed or delayed anything they've said before. He said, with faint hope. But when emotes 3.0, okay, now we've got emotes 2. I'm already ready for the next iteration where you can cycle to different accessories. Where it's like, okay, do you want to play tennis?
Okay.
Or do you want to be swinging a hatchet?
Chill out, man. We don't even have. There's one on the market from the Anku. That's it.
And imagine if you could switch to different chairs. Wouldn't that be dope?
Do what?
If instead of just the 1-star fluffy chair, you could be actually, I'm feeling more like a rounded fluffy chair.
Well, yeah, that would just be trigger a different emote.
But then what if you had an entire backpack for your emote accessories? So then you're buying the cozy chair, you're buying the emote, but then that emote has options within that I could buy a cozy chair, or I could buy a cloud so I could sit on the cloud.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's
Sounds
get on
like
that.
emote
Let's just get
3.0.
right on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, obviously, I'm very excited for emotes 2.0, and we should all be very pleased. For all the gifts are just going to get better. Making content to show Decentraland will get easier now that the emotes will have even more life.
Remember what Bay said. We are already so far ahead. So you may want to slow it down just a tad.
I mean, I feel like, that's true in some elements. I still feel like, we're so far behind in so many others. So it's, I don't want to be unappreciative, and obviously everyone's working very hard, but there's there's lots of room for improvement. But either way, the gifts in 2.0 will be dope. Because I don't know if anyone here was trying to make, content to shield Decentraland before, the GIF on the great emote, revolution, but it was really tough making that one photo that had the guy pointing up to the right like he knew something great. Really hard to work that thing into every kind of context. So it's cool that now we can have, props. What are you going to make in first, Kanessa? What's your first prop going to be, or your next adventure?
I love telling people stuff before I do it. It works so well in Web3 to share your secrets out loud. So I'll keep that one to myself. But
what are we gonna do to get Brandon into a Kanessa emote? When can Brandon have some, just be the booming voice of Kanessa's emote?
Okay, how about where the person who loves you, baby, like Telly Savalas. You guys don't know who Telly Savalas is. Never mind. But he winks with his right eye, and then he like points a finger, like does finger guns, and then does a "Who loves you, baby?" And
With a lollipop.
yes, there you. Okay, one person knew who Telly Savalas was. Awesome. But yeah, it could be like a Barry White, or it could be something where it's like, uh, Canessa, I love that you're using your wand as sort of like your your push broom. That looks great.
I don't have much else to work with. Actually, I'm like I was digging for clams. I don't know. I don't know what else. I need a shovel or something. This is the best I could find.
You said
Bong Emote
magic.
2.0 is going to be epic. I can't wait
You,
to see the smoke cloud.
you said magic
Yep,
wand, and
yep. It's on the way.
first thing I thought of was
I
Vanessa
have
going
a
bippity
list of
boppity boop.
emotes, so when I come up with ideas, I put in there. But I gotta finish some before I put out more. I've got some that I've been working on for a while, and
Now they'll all get to be
I'm
ignited.
I'm great at starting projects. Following through, not so much, but I am, excited. Last week I wouldn't tell you guys what I was making, and now obviously you saw Buffalo is getting a bull today, so I'm gonna shamelessly plug that and say like how talented Meta Tiger is. That guy just like made that thing come to life, so it's cool to see.
When does that happen? When is that party? Has it already happened? Have I missed it?
No, it's in a couple hours. Let me see. Do the countdown. That is in 2 hours.
Thank you.
I have to do the conversion. 9 p.m. UTC. It's going to be released the 9 p.m. UTC. So in an hour, you're going to be able to go test it out, and there's some really cool prizes for whoever can stay on the bowl the longest. Yeah, it was really fun making a really angry bowl, you guys. So good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
And speaking of events, just so those who don't miss it, there's always Quiz Zone on. It starts in like 30 minutes, I think. So I know some people miss it and then they see it afterwards. But Quiz Zone starts. Just stopping in to say what's up. I know it's been a while. I don't really get on DCL or like Twitter Spaces on the weekends, but just wanted to stop in and say what's up. Say how excited I am for all the new developments, and Emotes 2.0 has been so fun to mess with, even though there's only a few out right now. Sorting through the event page, just dropping some Twitter Space Saturday Alpha. But I discovered an event that says Emotes 2.0 Spin and Win, and it's an event page already, so I can't say that it's not out there already.
On the 12th.
Yeah, on the 12th, you could spin for 4 different emotes. They have a tennis racket emote, hitting a tennis ball. They have a heart emote, looks like it's gonna float around or something. Looks like you propose, and there's like a Jack-in-a-Box looking thing, and then like a champagne bottle popping. So those are 4 other emotes 2.0s that are gonna come out, I guess. And looks like it's gonna happen at Genesis Plaza, so that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, besides that, I love what you said, Odd Job. It really is kind of like smart emotes if you think about it. It's kind of like we got smart wearables and smart emotes now. And I'm already messing with it. Having flight and then having some emote 2.0s already. I'm able to get creative with that, like with the luxury. I keep forgetting what the name of the emote 2.0 is. Luxury. Whatever it's called, but the Anku made it. I bought it right away because I just loved it. But just me able to fly in the air and then use that just as an example of the emote itself just has you floating on a couch. But if you're flying and floating on a couch, it makes it just something that's just combining the two, which is really cool. Really excited. I'm working on emote 2.0. I won't say what it is either because I know everybody's working on different things. I like to just put things out before I tell what it is. I'm working on Emote 2.0. We got AI Month, Music Fest Month coming up. A lot of events. If you guys go to the event page, it's a lot more clear and easy to read now, like within Decentraland. So I definitely suggest checking out the events page. It's a little easier sorted, and a lot of people miss this part, but there's like a time thing on there where you can actually sort the button to if you figure out what UTC time is to you, you can sort the button to specific times that you're going to be on Decentraland that day and not have to be looking at the overall picture of it for a whole couple weeks. You can sort it to just the day you're in, and it makes it a lot easier to find events on the day of the day that you're searching around. One other thing, what was I gonna say? Working on some events with Old Guy. We have working on some other things. Working on doing some things out here in Vegas. Once it settles down a little bit out here, because it is a little hectic right now. There's like, the Sphere just opened up. You got Formula One coming to town, then Super Bowl in February. So it's really hectic to get things done while all these big events are happening. But I think next year we're working on doing some, more IRL events, and bridging the gap between, the nightclub scene out here in Vegas and the metaverse. I already see it happening in On Cyber. I know Kevin on Earth has been working with a DJ out here in Vegas to have DJ sets streamed into On Cyber. But yeah,
Fremont Street,
what was that?
Fremont Experience.
Oh yeah, and you got. I love Fremont. I'm there all the time. I get there when I can. But anyways, yeah, Fremont's pretty would be pretty cool to have streamed into Decentraland. I'm starting to figure out how to stream into DCL from my phone, like without having to be on OBS. Because that's what we all use. But I finally figured out a way to do that mobile. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way I could do some more Vegas live events. Streaming into DCL for you guys. But yeah, I think Emotes 2.0 is really fun. It's just it's something I've always asked for from the beginning. When they started giving us emotes, I'm like, hey, we have make it rain emotes, we have heart kissing emotes. Why can't we do this? But yeah, I think one reason why they may have changed the emote looping thing system is because when we spam emotes, I'm sure that's registering to everybody's computers all at the same time, and it's probably not great for performance. So I hope maybe that's why they changed that. And then when I loaded into DCL Community Buildings area today, you guys all loaded up. You guys were already emoting when I walked in. So that's maybe something that they updated that I never seen before. Because usually you have to tell you guys all to re-emote, especially at a party. Somebody refreshes or something because they have to refresh the screen. Then they see everybody frozen. But now it looked like you guys are all, like some of you guys were sitting down. Some of you guys were like, Steve Psycho's doing his smoking emote. And then people were doing their emotes already. So I think that was cool. And then I saw a glitch yesterday, like you said, Kanessa. I saw the Anku in her couch, and then she was flying around with I think she had the Dingus suit on, or I'm not sure what flying emote she had on, or flying wearable she had on, but she moved to a different spot, and then the couch went away, and then as soon as she got to that spot, the couch was back under her sitting down. So I don't know if that's something that we're gonna another challenge we're gonna have to deal with, but yeah, let's stick to what we got right now. All right, we got enough features. All right, get out there, make the content. I know Bloom isn't around, which really sucks because we can't make this glowing content that we're all used to and loving and seeing. But do with what you have. I mean, look at Daddy Chang. Go to his page and just scroll down his page and just look at what he's done in literally a month. He has 7 short films created. So I keep telling people get the content is there to be created. There's people are there that are there to make it with. Go make it with the people if you feel like it's there's not enough content out there and people aren't seeing us enough. Make content with bigger artists and bigger followings and tag them and stuff. You never know what a retweet can get for Decentraland. I mean, it's there's just so much out there to be done, and I feel like nobody's doing it. So it's we can all sit around a circle all day, but it's I'm just trying to really push people into making that action of getting out there, making the content, getting more videos out, getting more pictures out. I know it's easier said than done, but all of us are taking pictures and posting them on Twitter all day anyways. So it's just all I'm asking is to just get it out to more other places and not be afraid to post it in other places where they may not be familiar with it. But yeah, there's just so much cool content to be created, and you got Emotes 2.0, you got wearables, thousands of free items to get, thousands of free things to get, and there's no excuses anymore. I mean, the platforms are there. We got Hyperfly for VRMs, we got OnCyber for VRMs. Everybody wanted compatibility. We all got it, so it's go use it, go make that content. I see Brandon making the content. I see so many people just making dope content now. We all just have to collectively go to these people's pages. And, if they're not doing events all the time, it's going to be hard for them to be on the live stream saying, hey, go retweet my stuff. But it's I'm trying to convince y'all guys to retweet everybody's stuff no matter what. I try to get to as much as I can without cluttering my page. But really encourage you guys to share people's content out there. People are making great content. You just got to, keep pushing it more and just keep doing more. That's it.
I love how you brought up the legendary freaking Daddy Chang. That man has been making the Decentraland movies and fun content since the Stone Ages. Like, since before I came into space, this dude already had a whole ass, like, Decentraland, like, little short movie that he had made with a bunch of community members. I remember Meow Meow, I think that was her name. She was, like, one of the stars. It was, yeah, definitely. And it's been funny. It's been really fun to see, like, now that Daddy Chang is like starting to, like, hang out more and more on Decentraland. Like, he'll be making like shorts with like what we do have now, like, all these emotes, all this cool shit that we can do now. So definitely, he's definitely someone to look towards when it comes to like making fun Decentraland content.
No, 100%. Someone even came to one of my events yesterday. I'm not sure who they were. Their name was Swiss or Swissverse or something like that. But they may have not been to an event in a while, and they came to an event and they're just like, we have all this now. We have all that now. This is so much fun. This is so amazing. Like, so I think it's just like we gotta like stop paying attention to what's broken. I know there's so much because even me last year. Last week I was really discouraged. I'm not gonna lie when I saw this MAB 23 thing to get deployed and all the mess that happened from that. I was really honestly discouraged. It was the first time I stooped down to the level of going to Discord and ranting off for a while. I don't know what, something got into me. Jared was there, he saw it. But I just went into like this like rant mode where I was just immediately like really annoyed and just like so fed up by a lot of things. But I had to take a step away from DCL for like a day or two and just like really just like look and see what we've done in 2 years, and just it is a lot. And either way, a lot of great things have come from the connections I've made in DCL. And the bottom line, that's what I came here to do, is to connect with people around the world. Like I love international connections. It's something I've done before I even got into the metaverse. So it's just something that I continue to do as I got into it. But we're all from all over the world. Time zones is obviously going to be an issue, whatever. But like, we all just have to, just like I said, collectively use what we got. Like they tell people like, hey, even if you don't have the latest iPhone, still make that YouTube video. Even if you have an iPhone 10 or a freaking Android 4, I don't care what it is, like still make those videos. It doesn't matter the quality sometimes. You just gotta like be consistent and find your audience, and they'll find you and they'll flock to you. Get out into more Twitter spaces, other Twitter spaces out there that are maybe not necessarily metaverse related, but they may be into crypto, or they may be into other things that are similar to what we're into. Roblox people. I mean, there's just so much people that are already in the metaverse. We just got to find them more. And I think that I'm just trying to like lead the pack as far as like musicians goes, and teaching them the way of doing this, of how to monetize it without it being so salesy, because that's never something I've ever wanted. I don't want to be out here selling anything or shilling anything. Like I just want people to collect the dope shit that I create and hang out. Like that's what Team Tracks has always been. It's never been an investment opportunity or a PFP thing. Like you have to buy my NFTs. Like nah, it's like you want to hang out at our parties and rock the merch. Like hell yeah, I'm gonna shout you out extra louder, obviously, because you're rocking some of our stuff. It's just something that we do. But there's just a lot of connections that I've made over the last 2 years that I think are never gonna go away. And no matter what metaverse we all hang out in, whether it's Hyperfire, on Cyber, whatever, like we have the worlds now. We have VRMs that are compatible, and I think that I just love that we can make content in other worlds now with our avatars. I mean, when I walk around on Cyber and stuff like that, they're like, "What is that? What are you wearing? Like, the hell is that?" Because they're so used to seeing the avatars they're walking around with, and then we come out and they stick out like sore thumbs. But yeah, just get out there, make more content, and just wanted to put that message out there. Trying to do as much as I can. I'm making wearables, emotes, events, everything possible, while also gearing in the travel mode, because I gotta travel a lot the next 2 weeks. So appreciate you guys for letting me rant off, and I hope you guys have a great Saturday. I'm gonna log off here soon because I have to get ready for Quiz Zone, and I need to focus on that because there's a lot of when you get points at Quiz Zone, there's a board on the second floor now. You could just walk up to it and redeem your credits and get wearables. I mean, there's like, and it's Dabcraft stuff. So that's all I gotta say. I mean, Dabcraft is top notch. I look at Dabcraft as like the Gucci of like Decentraland. I mean, I don't know. They're just everything they touch is gold. If you look at it, I mean, that's the way I look at it. But anyways, hope you guys have a great day. Have a great weekend. Lots of events. Check them all out and stay tuned.
Thank you, CJ. And I did see that Rustan came back up.
Can you hear me? Is my mic working?
Yep, I hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to chime in with what CJ said, mentioned Swissverse. If you don't know who Swissverse is, he's like an OG, and he's actually been doing everything that you've been preaching about, like, create content. He was probably one of the first people to do a VR interview in Hyperfy with people in the. It's like a podcast, a VR podcast, and they were all participating in VR. It was the coolest thing ever, and it's a good point to bring up that you saw him. I saw him recently too, and he'd been missing for a while. He was I asked him where he's been, and I guess he was kind of disappointed. He's been exploring a whole bunch of other metaverse worlds, but more importantly, he's back and he's excited with what he sees, and that's really cool. And I think most of you have noticed that a lot of OGs who've been kind of missing are popping up back randomly. I don't know. Well, I didn't see the memo that went out, so I don't know what's going on, but something's brewing. So it's cool.
I keep saying signs of a bull market imminent.
Yeah, I don't want to say it,
When
but yeah.
you see people like Daddy Chang and Cynthia Nomine and Canard Azul and other friends. Like I said, I'm still waiting for Kim Possible and Mahaha to come back, and then my heart will be happy. But yeah, it is cool to see some friends. But maybe it is also just people leave for different reasons. I think, yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
I mean, mana is up almost 2 cents since, or yeah, 2 cents, right? Or is it point? I don't remember the
No,
actual
it's
numbers.
up about 2 cents. It was at 30.
Yeah,
It hit a high point of 32 yesterday. It might be back down to 31, but
right.
yeah.
I don't know if that's because of maybe the Lex Friedman podcast or what's going on, but something's going on.
Someone
Yeah,
always
I mean,
pumps up
even with
mana
crypto
just before. I don't know. Usually there's a sell-off of mana just before the new quarter because then that's when they set the price for the grant budget. If you look back, like generally for the last 2 quarters, there was a huge sell-off just before. So it's interesting that mana is going up before the quarter reset.
Well, I mean, couldn't you also look at when they, fulfill all those grants, and if they have to sell mana to pay grantees?
But that's
yeah,
that.
you could.
Sorry, Canessa, go ahead.
Yeah, it just seems like you could predict, if they do it in a regular pattern. I don't know.
The mechanic has changed though because they're now doing an incremental purchase. It's no longer like on a day or whatever. It's being handled by, I don't know if it's a bot or whatever, but it's something that they have identified as being somewhat problematic and addressed that. At least that's what I remember from the I don't know if it was a town hall, if it was the all hands, but it's somebody from the DAP squad or one of the squads came up and talked about it. So the way that they are selling assets to or whatever to fund the grants, it's done incrementally now, is what I remember.
nice, less market activity, no slight drops, or not slight, very big drops. And yeah, I mean, even another token that's kind of been acting weird lately, more so than Mana, is Solana. Solana's up to like $21 now. The evil corporations must be getting their money in. They're evil.
Did you see Metamona posted something and then I think I retweeted it or reposted or whatever the hell they call it now. But Chase UK is going to, I think in a month or so, is going to deny all crypto purchases for their customers. It's in the UK.
Deny all crypto purchases so you can't use a Chase card to buy crypto.
Correct.
Let's say.
Yeah. Which is weird. I mean, it's just in the UK, but there's also Chase applied for a patent for a special kind of crypto wallet, and they've also gone through the process of creating their own cryptocurrency token, and I don't remember what chain that token is on, or if they're gonna create their own blockchain. But I mean, it's like schizophrenic almost. They're making moves in both directions.
I'm gonna call up Chase support and tell them that I'm having problems buying their token with my Chase credit card.
That's hilarious. You have to assume a British accent when you do it, though.
Well, my Chase here in Los Angeles won't let me buy with crypto, so I just move the money from Chase to PayPal and use PayPal.
So just overall in general, the market, I look at it like this. I look at it as like the government never wants us to be able to track what they do. They want to be able to track everything we do. So this is like, that's kind of like the battle that we're kind of in the middle of right now, is like privacy for us. And then they're like, you guys don't, you guys aren't allowed to have privacy, but we are. Like, it's kind of like what we're fighting. So that's, it kind of sucks. Because, the reading the news is kind of like such an up and down thing when it comes to like prices. Because, trading is what got me into the metaverse in general. I probably would have never discovered Decentraland if I didn't, trading Coinbase. But I really feel like within the next 2 weeks, a lot's going to change. The ETFs might get approved. Like mid-October is when they're saying that might get announced. So that's really huge. And then you also have having the Bitcoin supply having in, what is it, March, April right now. That's kind of what they're predicting. So a lot of like factors going on. You got the Gary Gensler thing going on. I was watching a live stream the other day. That was really interesting because I usually don't tune into SEC things like that, but for like that, I was like, this is a really important call. And for him to say, yeah, it's not a security. He just won't say. He won't say other things that he does that he knows will like ignite the market. But like I feel like that is definitely one of the biggest factors when it comes to DCL numbers. Every time DCL is under 30 cents or 50 cents, numbers are down. And then it goes back to 60, 70 cents, 80 cents. I've watched the pattern happen all the time. So it's not like I don't look at data and analytics. I just watch the patterns of how many people are at Wondermine, how many people are at Decentral Games, how many people are at Genesis. And I noticed that like anytime the numbers are up, you'll start seeing 50, 60 people, 70 people at Genesis Plaza again if those numbers start going up again. So just prepare yourself for that in case it does happen. And, the people that are already there helping, it's going to be a lot easier for you to just continue helping just more people. But I think now we have that best category on the in Genesis. People will no longer be sent to Wondermine first. The first place they're probably going to get sent to now is Dollhouse or True Band Room or I think third on the list is like Oasis Arcade. I'm not sure if they're still active, but it just at least people will get sent to like active places now and not get sent to a Dragon Rush game and a monkey jumping game or whatever the hell it was called. I don't know, but I'm glad they changed that. At least that was one big thing that a lot of us have been asking for. And yeah, I think that we just got to start using Genesis more often, which I'm glad they're starting to do events there more often. It's been nice because it's just been an empty giant area you load into and you just walk around and nothing there.
Hey CJ,
Yeah.
Are you gonna see Dumb Money?
Which is that a movie coming out or something?
Yeah, Dumb Money. It's a story about the GameStop pump and dump.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't get into the GameStop stock itself, but I was involved in a lot of those other stocks that they was putting out there. Like I'm still in some of those stocks, to be honest with you. Yeah, there was a whole thing going on Reddit and stuff. It got really hectic. I would just so happen to really be deep in the trading at that moment, and watched GameStop go from $3, $4 to like what was it, $400 or $300 or something like that. I forgot what the number was, 500 or something. It was insane. I would definitely watch that movie. I think I did see a preview for it. I might have just forgot about it, but definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah, it seemed like it's up your alley. It's that whole era where there was the day trader and the people just trying to make a little extra, and then there became this opportunity to stick it to the man, and yeah, it's a David versus Goliath kind of story. So
I love how you say that era when it was like 2 years ago.
Right? It's like such a long time
hey
ago.
man,
It feels like such a long
Web3, it's
time
like
ago,
a
for real.
month is like a year. So 2 years ago, that's what is it? That's 25 years ago.
Yeah, it was interesting because when I got into trading because I got into trading from Robinhood. I mean, that's just what a lot of people in the minority community, that was our first ever our first ever access to trading. We never knew, none of us were ever going to the bank to go talk to a loan or whatever the person was to trade for you. Like when we saw it on our phone as an app, we were like, all of us jumped on it. Like, oh shit, we could trade now and make money. And at that time, the market was shooting up and making money from the pandemic. As soon as the pandemic is shut down, everybody was making money on the way up. And the fact that we all exposed to what was possible from dark pools and a bunch of other things, I forgot what the words for were. Shorting. That's what people were doing. It was like it was all okay until the regular American citizens started doing it, and then they started putting all these rules and all these things we couldn't do for trading and limiting trades, and it was literally like modern day robbery happening in front of our eyes, and there's nothing we can do about it because like the SEC is like the most powerful like gang in the world, to be honest. But yeah, it was pretty wild to just be a part of it all. I'd definitely love to watch that. But yeah, it's interesting times we're living in. We're kind of like at that point where they're ready to give in for Bitcoin only because they're gonna get gains out of it now and they're gonna make money. So while everybody's in fear mode, they're loading up. I'm telling you guys, like, and I could be wrong. You know, it could be going down forever, but you never know. There's just always that opportunity where we can possibly change our kids' lives and their next generations of lives because we weren't given that opportunity when we were growing up.
You know, with the whole GameStop thing and hedge funds and all that, the scary part is that they have time. Like they play the time game, and and to call me a conspiracy theorist, but I'm one of those individuals that kind of thinks that the reason why things are like economically are so bad currently is partly helped by the hedge funds that have been shorting the stock market, have been shorting every market that they can get into ever since that GameStop thing. I remember there was like an article, like articles going out, and they were quoting like CEOs or from these hedge funds, like kind of saying like you know the people will pay or yeah. And they've been shorting the market since, just to make back all that money that they lost.
And for those who don't know what shorting is, it basically means you're betting on the market going down, and when you buy something and that market goes down, you're making money on the way down. So as markets have been going down the last 2 years, as people have been saying everybody's losing money. That small 5% or that even 1% has been making millions and billions of dollars this whole entire time. So
The
I
house
want to be clear.
always wins. That-
Exactly, and I want to be clear about something. If you guys are ever going to get into trading, trade small amounts, please, because don't make the mistake that I did of really getting really confident really quickly, and then I started making some really ballsy trades that I shouldn't have been doing it because I was just I got really confident because I made a lot of money and then I lost a lot of money. It was a learning lesson, but it was still cool. It was still cool to be the first person in my family to like risk anything like that, to do something like that. But I really advise you guys if you're ever gonna get into trading, trade very small amounts. Paper trade to start off with, like it's basically like trading with monopoly money. You're trading with a fake $100 bill, like to see what you could do with that $100 bill. I really encourage people to do that because even if it's just 1% of your total savings you have, like 1% of it, small 1% of it can go a long way if you get that right trade in or get into the right one and buy things and trade things you believe in that you own. Like if you have an iPhone, if you have Samsung products or whatever the case is, whatever you have in your house and you believe in, I advise investing into that type of stuff. Don't go crazy in investing and following everybody's discords and following these channels and you're gonna get yourself in a mess. Don't get yourself into the mess that I did because it was a big L I took, and I've never been afraid to admit that, And I got scammed before, I've gotten hacked before, I've taken huge losses in stocks before in crypto, but I'm still here, I'm still standing because my life my life doesn't revolve around how much money I have in my account. Like how happy I am when I wake up and how excited I am to wake up and get into what I'm getting into that day is more important to me than a dollar amount. So, and I think a lot of people can learn from that. Like it's not about how much money we can make here in Decentraland. Like the money will come to the ones who are passionate. I mean, that's just the bottom line. But you still have to be a smart enough business person to know how to handle those meetings when they come in. So, like I said, if y'all have anything out there you ever need to DM me about, let me know. Quiz zone starts in a minute. Get your asses over if you're gonna get some free coins and free points, whatever, to get some wearables. Minus 51.91 if you want to come hang out, and it's a really easy quiz. And yeah, see you guys there. I'm gonna head out because I have to do this quiz and then go ride a bike. I bought myself a bicycle this week so I can go see and touch grass more. Love you guys.
Let's go. Thank you, CJ. And yeah, thank you for mentioning Quiz Zone. Everyone head over to Quiz Zone. I hear Derek is Quiz Zone champion, or like he's always at the top of the leaderboards.
Goddamn is also another person who's like really, really person on the leaderboard all the time. Hayabusa is always on the top. Shiny, Gara. The person at the top right now is Ira. I'm not sure if that's somebody else's name that's saved as a different name. But yeah, these are all diehard Quiz Zone fans. I only get to play once in a while, but it's really fun. It's a really cool way to play a quiz.
Yeah, it is really fun. I think the first few times I've like jumped in there, I was like so lost at first, and then I was like, oh, but I was just having fun, even just trying to figure it out. So yeah, thank you, CJ, for coming up, hanging with us for a little bit. Thank you, everyone in the space, for your time, your very valuable time. I do see a few new listeners, so if anyone has any questions about the Decentraland, what the Decentraland is, like why do we shake our fists so much at certain areas of Decentraland, you're more than welcome to ask. And thank you all. And yeah, I mean, we've been at it for like 3 hours now. If there aren't any more topics we can cover or continue on, maybe we can start winding down. What do you think, Vanessa?
I kind of think we should, because today is a freaking epic day. I think well, we got the Buffalo Rodeo, and then after that the Bit Bears, the Cozy's gonna shake our brain. So like we were saying, if the bull doesn't rattle your brain, the bear will. So just expect to have, nothing, no brain cells by the end of the day. So yeah, we should do a health break, like a wellness break, to force everybody to go like get some food, get some water, stay hydrated, meet us back at Buffalo's, and then go to Cozy's, because it's gonna be a long day. It's like, I don't know, it's crazy. LFG.
Well, I mean, no one has requested to come up to speak. No one has raised their hand. So I guess on that note, maybe we do wind down. Jared, could you leave us with some philosophical thoughts?
It is really lovely outside, guys. It's a good idea to go touch grass. I highly recommend doing your Twitter Spaces on the move, not, which I mean, I guess does hurt the Decentraland, hangout session part. But like, oh man, it's just nice to be mildly productive and walking.
Will be easier when we have mobile client, but just saying.
Right, when those smart AI glasses, the Ray-Bans, I was looking at Twitter while someone was talking. They're like, you can get like $200 ones. I do actually. I guess that's the question. Do I go for clear $200 Ray-Bans, or the tinted actual sunglass smart Ray-Bans? Because like I just feel like I feel such a nerd with clear glasses on. I don't know.
Tinted.
Yeah, but then I can't use them at night. Like, right?
Yes, you can.
Well, I mean, you can.
Isn't there a song? I wear my sunglasses at night.
So now we need to rewrite that with AI to be about AI. But okay, so I mean, Rustan says tinted. I guess that is, it has been decided. The answer has been given. So thank you, sir. You're right. I can't wear clear Ray-Bans.
Such a steal too. I'm blown away at that price, man. It's like $250 for the Ray-Bans with all the stuff included in it. Like, you can get a pair of Ray-Bans for like $250 with nothing on it. It's amazing.
Yeah, from what I could tell looking at the link, the only thing that was different between the like 251 or 259 and the 200 was like the matte black clear is 250, and then the like something other color with like there's just certain combinations of colors and lens, and I was like, seemed like, yeah, both are like an insane deal. So I mean, assuming it does like half of, like, if I can just look at things and it translates it for me, that's amazing. But anyway, that was my last thought.
Thank you, Jared. And yeah, I kind of want a pair of Ray-Bans too. I was just blown away, but they have like the transparent frames that kind of show you the stuff inside. Real Game Boy vibes there.
That does sound dope. I'm a Ray-Bans.
They didn't really.
I have so many pairs of Ray-Bans from when I worked in television, and they were right next to CBS Television City, and I was just like, well, why not waste my money? I'll have so much of it forever. Ooh.
And I assume you can like throw prescriptions on those too.
Well, but I mean, maybe, but like how, I don't know how the technology I don't know what it looks like when I'm looking in it, or how that technology would appear on the glass. But I would think that might be more costly to just get your prescription lens to show you whatever display it has, right? I don't know. I don't understand how the technology works. I've watched no videos.
Yeah, I think someone mentioned that it works with like the Google Smart Glass. So like wouldn't it have to be like prescription Google Smart
True.
Glass?
Maybe. I didn't realize that there was stuff projected on the
Yeah, I guess I
lens.
shouldn't
I
say I've
thought it was
seen no
just like
videos. I did
camera
see a
itself.
like image that looked like when you're looking through it, there's some kind of like follow, like there's a readout that's helped like showing you as well as whatever audio elements.
On that note, we had like a pretty good mini Ray-Bans combo here. Uh, I'll pass it over to One Existence. Final thoughts?
Happy belated birthday to Fancy, and mine is tomorrow.
Let's go. Happy birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday,
Thank
Fancy.
you.
Love you.
Happy birthday, Fancy. Happy birthday, Existence. Happy birthday, JK47. I saw something on Twitter that it was their birthday, so happy birthday.
Did you say happy birthday, Existence?
Yeah, didn't Existence just say it's his birthday tomorrow?
I did.
Happy birthday, Existence.
Happy birthday, Existence. And happy birthday, JK. Wow, so many birthdays. Happy birthday to everyone. Or to, not to everyone, but anyone that has a birthday today.
Happy
And let
birthday
me
to all my fellow Libras.
know, Rustan, any final thoughts?
Just yeah, check out that Lex Friedman thing, and check out the MetaQuest 3 presentation also. I think they're both really valuable and important to watch.
Definitely. And yeah, thank you everyone for being here, and to all the speakers that came up and contributed to the conversation. Thank you, Rustan, for doing that the Pink Pants grant. Three creators are going to be able to publish their creations now, without having to worry about funds. So that is actually something really special. And yeah, everyone, just remember to be nice to each other. Let's just keep creating and keep doing what we do best. Love you all, and I'll just pass it over to Kinessa.
Yeah. Have a good day, guys. Remember, lots of stuff going on today. So check the event calendar. And yeah, good to see so many of you taking your time to be here. I know Saturdays are, busy days for everybody. So we appreciate it. And I know in the long run in Decentraland, like, yeah, you guys, everything you say, your words, your ideas, your collaboration, I think it means more than maybe we realize now, like all of these like connections being made. So, yeah, be safe. Take care of everybody. Take care of yourself. And we will see you next week. Bye bye.
That was an awesome space. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It's really cool to see how many friends we have come over every Saturday. Like I've just been noticing the numbers grow. More and more friends come and hang out with us in World. Really appreciate all of your time. Thank you. Oh, look, we have it's a rare sight whenever you see admins and mods in the same room. Usually it's like one of those things like with like how like the people with the Coca-Cola recipe, like there's two people that know it and they're not allowed to be in the same room or fly in the same flight. Thank you everyone for being here. I mean, okay, yeah, there's quiz zone, so I guess I should just close down or, go do some different activities
so that everyone can go to Quiz Zone. I am itching, craving some Rocket League right now. Yeah, why not?